Everybody hates you, and I'm glad your husband died. Probably killed himself.
You guys can hear me, hear the song. Okay. Hello, Noops.
No offense, David Jaffe, but that's bullshit.
Well, it may be bullshit. Well, that's what I was going to say, but it's true. No, it's not. Welcome, fellas. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the 4th of December, 2024 Gavin Games. Here we go. Well, it is nice to see everybody. I appreciate you being here. This is the Gavin and Games show. This is not the Jaffe stream. So if you've showed up to talk drama, that's not what we're about on this particular show. I love the drama. You guys know I love the drama. The stream froze. Why don't you try refreshing it? Let me know if the stream froze, fellas. I like the drama. It's fun. But that's not the main course of this show. The Gavin and Games show is always going to be Gavin and Games. Taking your calls, talking about the art form we love the most. And then in the morning, we will be doing, the Jaffe stream where it's all kinds of crazy shit. I may be watching some of the hate videos tonight, though, because somebody called me and said, dude, you have to watch this video. But I'm not doing it on this show. So welcome to the show. You know what I did last night? I watched, with some members of the stream in the Discord, I watched Star Wars Skeleton Crew. I think that's what it's called. Skeleton Key, Skeleton Crew. It's pretty good. The first maybe 20 minutes of it, I was sort of like, it's okay. It's kind of cool, and then it's very Spielberg and Goonies meets sci-fi and Star Wars, but it kind of was just like that's all it was. And then about 40 minutes, 30 minutes in, it got really, really good. And I was like, okay, I like this. I like where this is going. And I'm looking forward to watching the second season or the second episode later tonight. Okay. Alex says I should date a younger woman and take her to the Olive Garden. Here's what you have to know. A lot of ladies want to date the Papa Jaffe. And I'm laughing at something else, but that's funny too. A lot of ladies want to date Papa Jaffe, but they gotta like the Olive Garden, because you've seen those kind of clips, right? Where like a woman's filming like a boyfriend or date or something, and he takes her to, like, I don't fucking know, just, some chain restaurant. Like, what was the one? The one where the lady gets pissed that he's taking her to Cheesecake Factory, and I'm just like, fuck her. I'd be like, you know what, we're going home. I mean, who needs a date that badly? What's wrong with Cheesecake Factory? The menu at the I don't know if they still exist, but the menus at those places used to be as big as the fucking Bible. I mean, these fucking, I love the cheese. They had that goddamn, what's the bread, the brown bread called? They had the sourdough and the wheat bread, but they had the pumpernickel. It was great, man. It's fucking great. I hear the Olive Garden's rather disgusting, but the breadsticks are great. Oh, I love it all. I love it all. But anyway, yeah. So my day and a half off was good. We streamed this morning. Here's somebody was asking earlier about Indiana Jones, in the Great Circle, which comes out depending on what you have spent. It either comes out this Friday for early access or it comes out Monday. And somebody was asking, me being a huge Indiana Jones fan. See, I'm drinking off to the side. Me being a huge Indiana Jones fan, are you going to play it and on Friday? And I was, but I am constantly missing out on finishing games. And right now, and I'm not trying to kick the hornet's nest, I'm not trying to stir up discussion, I am really, really enjoying Dragon Age Veilguard. And so part of me is like, you know what, man, you may be able to finish, if you keep playing it like you've been playing it, and I played a bunch of it yesterday, you may be able to get to the end of at least the main story by Monday, which then will free you up to play Indy. So I haven't decided yet if I am going or not to play it. But we'll see. I mean, I'm definitely going to play it. Fuck yeah, I'm going to play. I can't wait to play Indiana Jones. I'm just saying that I don't know if I'm going to get there immediate, because I'm really enjoying Dragon Age. Am I going to platinum the game, Jimmy Ryan? No. I never platinum. I mean, I probably couldn't. The closest I've ever come to a platinum game is Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. But, it just doesn't mean much to me. It doesn't, what do I do with that? Can I trade it in for, I don't know, money or something? Otherwise, what do I care but I mean, a lot of people like it. And I appreciate that. But no, that's not for me. But the thing that blew my mind, I know I've talked about this once before, but Colin Moriarty, who's a big trophy hunter, tweeted out a picture of this document he had printed out that must have been 50 pages from the internet telling you exactly what to do to get every trophy. And I'm like, at that point, the question becomes, so are you celebrating your ability to follow instructions? Like, what? I don't understand why that would merit pride in a trophy. But he just may be at this point, he may be in trouble. He may need like a TLC show named after him about like hoarders, but for trophies. I don't know, because that's crazy behavior. Thanatos, welcome to the Diet Soda Soldier, sir. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you. Slow what a stroke looks like. Listen, I appreciate you being part of the community, buddy. Thank you so much, Thanatos. It's good to have you here as always. It's good to see you, and thank you so much for that support, man. I appreciate it. There you go. Movie Maniac says you can trade a Bloodborne Platinum in for one free back massage from P Turtle. Can you imagine? Oh, what's the opposite of getting a trophy then? Okay. Yeah, you platinum Bloodborne, says George Bush, and Team Fortress 2, and that's it. Yeah, I mean, I could see it if it's like your favorite game. Jaffe, let's see. Have I seen the game system requirements, Froggy, for Indiana Jones? Yeah, the thing is, I am assuming it's coming, if not to GeForce Now, which is where I want to play it. I'm assuming I'll be able to stream it off of Xbox Cloud. So, I'm not really going to worry about playing it locally, because it's the kind. I mean, even competitive games I can play in the cloud. So certainly this is a game I can play in the cloud and not worry about it. So, Okay. Oh, really? Buzzy Buzz says platinuming Bloodborne made me 10 centimeters taller. Well, I showed you guys the book, that beautiful fucking book I have on Bloodborne. It's like 600 pages, strategy guide, art book. And I, you know, who knows? There's too many games to play. But if there weren't so many games to play, I would say that, you know, I would love to go back and play Bloodborne. Because I'd really love to go back now that I've gone through it once and really understand the systems and really lose myself more in the lore of it all. Because that's probably my favorite video game world is Bloodborne. And I imagine I could kind of put myself in the shoes of Dragon Age fans that are disappointed if you imagine like Bloodborne coming out and it totally is like a CW young adult novel and you're like, what the fuck has happened to my Bloodborne? I could absolutely understand that if that's the level of like change that you've experienced, whiplash coming from Inquisition to Veilguard. But all right. Hello, Rathy. Good to see you, buddy. How are you? All right. PS1 days we printed out moves and secrets for games, says K-Nubs. Yeah, no, I know, but that's a little different. Those were, you know, they were secrets. Like, I mean, I've told you guys the story of making, when we did Twisted Metal Black, and I got so mad. And it was the one time that I went up to my boss who, because, you know, I was always equal with the guys in Utah. I mean, I worked for Sony and Sony wrote their checks, but fundamentally, I was like, I never pulled like, I'm Sony, you do what I say. And not that they did either. Not that my bosses did either. But this one time we were about to ship, I think we had actually gone gold. And I discovered that there was a code in the game that the developers slipped in that would let you fly your cars around, like jets and shit. And I was so fucking pissed because the minute you discover that, and we weren't even online, it was just split screen. The minute you go online with a code like that, you control the fuck out of your friend. It's like you're about to win the match and your brother's like, do, haha, I'm flying, fuck you. And it's just like, come on, man. And I told the guys, I said, guys, I know it's fun, but if you keep that in split screen, the minute it goes out, that's how people are going to play it. And thank God Sony sided with me and said, no, you guys got to take that shit out. Or if they did keep it in, to this day, it hasn't been discovered. And it's a code only they know. I have no idea. Awesome is talking about Dragon Age. He says, if Dragon Age, if a new Bloodborne in the series sucks, just don't play it. Why do we need to make it a culture war event? Well, the culture war might be a separate part. The culture war part I don't get when it comes to that game, unless you're just kind of a person of a certain type. But I will say that I can absolutely appreciate and understand you having love for a brand and a franchise that you've stuck with for many iterations, or at least 3 iterations, and a new one comes out and it's absolutely not what you wanted. You know, I mean, it's happened to me. I'm a huge indie fan. When the first new indie came out, which was Crystal Skull, it was crap. And I was so bummed and disappointed. And then the new one came out, and the new one's depressing. The new one is fucking depressing. Jaffe, do you have a go-to holiday season game similar to how people seek out certain movies, says K-Nub. Thank you, buddy, for that. And thank you for being part of our community, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I like the games that do events. I like the games that do, like, Christmas events. So I'm looking forward to the week or so of Marvel Snap. I'm looking forward to getting back into Hearthstone as they do, Winterfest. That to me is more like when they decorate the scenes and they give you a couple of, you know, really rare items that are specifically Christmassy time. But in terms of a game I come back to over and over, I would say not yet. I've never really had, I don't really do a lot of replaying of games because there's so many to play, but I will say I'm really feeling, I don't know, this is the wrong way to put it. But it's how it comes, you know, into my brain pan, is that I'm very cozy with Dragon Age right now. Like, I really like being in that world. I like being with those characters for the most part. And there is one game. It's like a Diner Dash game called Emily's Christmas something, and it's just very Hallmark Channel Diner Dash, basically. It's fun. But okay. Sounds like Jaffe is anti-fun and used big head mode to get cheats removed. I'm not anti-fun, and I'm all about those kinds of modes. But when they break the game and there's nothing you can do about it, then I have a problem. But these days, there are ways to get around that. Anthony says, Jaffe, do you think they're going to go do another Legacy of Kain since they're pushing the remaster so hard? I think that's really up to the fan base, right? If people show up and love it and play it, and people buy it, and it's like builds a groundswell of goodwill and money, then absolutely I think they'll do another one. But I think right now the franchise is so old that they're right to kind of remaster this and go, okay, is this kind of like a nostalgia play only, or is there actually something here? We'll find out. K-Nub says, I get cozy with old janky Bethesda games during Christmas. Love replaying Fallout 3 the first time since 2008. I can see that, and I can see going back to Elden Ring. I'd say Bloodborne, and Bloodborne in some ways, because it's so Charles Dickensian, is kind of Christmassy, but not really. It's kind of like, it would be like what A Christmas Carol is if Scrooge never learned anything and just took over the entire country and turned it into Bloodborne. That would be kind of where it ended up. Thank you so much, Luda. I appreciate that. That makes me feel good. It's been a week of drama, and I appreciate the kind words. He says, I legit love your videos, man. You literally make my day every day. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that very, very, very much. That's nice to hear. Thanks, buddy. Okay. Have I heard about Ubisoft, Thanatos? I have. I was going to talk about it a little bit later. In fact, it's coming up in the show. I'm assuming what you're talking about is the absolute third or fourth collapse of Ubisoft's attempt to get into the free-to-play market. Fuck it, we're there. We'll go there now. Ubisoft has shuttered, as the kids say, X-Defiant. And they've laid off a bunch of people. Over 200 people have been laid off. And this is following the failure of, what is it called? It's not Scraper. What they had some, battle royale game that they put out a while ago. That died on the vine. They had their roller derby game, which I think is still going, but nobody's really fucking playing that game. They just can't seem to get the free-to-play off the ground, even though Rainbow Six is one of the biggest successes in the service-based games market. So what I will tell you, I think they really got fucked by Call of Duty being on Game Pass is what I think happened, because I played the first month of X-Defiant and I liked it. It was pretty good. What did I call it? Something else? I call it X-Deviant, whatever, you know what I'm talking about. I liked it. I thought it was pretty good. And what they did that was unique, that was sort of their unique selling point, was these guys said, all these free-to-play shooters are Battle Royale or Extraction or something like that, but there's no meat and potatoes free-to-play shooter that can go head-to-head with the main modes of Call of Duty, like Team Deathmatch and, Domination and Hard Target and whatever. And so they made that game. And there was a little window there where it was like, hey, this is pretty cool. I own the Call of Duties, but it's nice to have something that has people who can come in at any time without having to buy anything, and they can actually fill out the audience, and there's always people to play, blah, blah, blah. And my guess would be what happened is they had a little moment where that was really that unique selling point for them. Was, I don't know if it was ever really working well. I don't think it was ever a mega hit. But what made them special worked, because they were the only game in town for the most part that did that for free. And then obviously now Call of Duty comes out on Game Pass. And in fact, I don't know if you saw the sales. The sales on the PlayStation Call of Duty 5 are up a little bit, but everything else is cratered for Call of Duty sales, like drastic fall off. But everybody expected that. And you've got the typical sky is falling people saying that, oh, well, see, Phil Spencer shat the bed. Why the fuck would he put that on Game Pass? Look at all the sales he lost. And obviously, the goal was and is to bring people to Game Pass. I don't think Phil Spencer was sitting around, going, what do you mean we're going to lose sales? Of course, going to lose sales, but they're going to pick them up, they assume, and more in subs. Now, are they? I don't know. I don't think they've released the numbers. I know they released the day that Call of Duty came out on Game Pass. They said their subscription re-ups and new subscriptions are bigger than they've ever been, but that doesn't mean people are going to stick around. I think a lot of it's going to have to do with, does Indiana Jones deliver? Now, if Indiana Jones comes out, and I think the reviews drop Friday, I imagine they do, and those reviews are really, really good, then I think something interesting could be happening for those guys, keeping people subscribed. The one thing that I don't understand is, you know, why in the fuck that, and obviously Stalker is phenomenal as well, right? I mean, if Indy comes out and does well, come on, man, that's a hell of a Christmas. And I would say Microsoft Flight Sim, but I still can't get that goddamn game to run, and I'm playing it in the fucking cloud, and it still barely runs. And so it's not a tech thing on my computer. Something's going on with that fucking game. Yeah, Rathy says Indy Jones is a boomer style franchise. I don't know if the average Joe cares. The average Joe may not care. And certainly the average Joe doesn't care right now. But the average Joe, if the game comes out and is like a 92 Metacritic, and I'm not saying it will be, but let's just assume for the sake of this discussion that it is. Well, if that game comes out and it's a 92 Metacritic, then you're going to get a lot of people who don't even know who Indiana Jones is, or who's like, I guess I've heard of that guy. And it's like, fuck, really? I'll play that. What the fuck? It's free. I have Game Pass, right? And then they're off to the races. And then maybe if Avowed, you know, I mean, it could be a pretty good next couple of months for these guys that really do prove out if you've got the money and if you've got the ability to manage these games at a regular release cadence. But, you know, I doubt Indy's going to be a 92. My guess is it's probably going to be like an 81, and that's hard to tell which way the wind blows when you're an 81. I'm looking forward to Avowed, but that's already getting all this culture war shit, which I don't think will matter, but it's still kind of annoying. Awesome Tatum says, I'm playing Indie Early Access. Let's go. But that's tomorrow, right? No, that's Friday at 8 p.m. is what I understand, at least in California. Machine X says Microsoft Flight Sim has reported to allegedly fixed all the issues from launch. Who knows, though? I heard that as well, so I reloaded it, and I still couldn't fucking play the thing. So who knows? Who knows? Mac Warlock says, I prefer PC and Xbox and don't particularly enjoy God of War, but I appreciate your personality. While I lean more to the right, I accept people regardless of their political views. I believe that those on the left should be more accepting of different perspectives. A lot of us are, and I appreciate you being that way as well. Culture war as it relates to Avowed, you know, Grums, who basically I think at this point wakes up and he's like, I can do one of two things. I can either, you know, deal with the demons I clearly have that I haven't dealt with, or I can go to the internet and search for things to make, you know, a bunch of incels mad. One of the two things. And he usually chooses the latter. Isn't that terrible? I said there was no drama. Sorry, Grums, wink. But fundamentally, though, you know, it's like, oh, there's a pronoun in it. You know, you can't really talk about it, right? Because here's the only thing we really know. Grums tweets out a screen grab from one of the trailers, and it's like a pause screen for a character screen in the game. And I guess it's like there's slots for, like, you know, hit points, name, origin story, whatever, RPGs, you know. And then like there's things that says pronouns, and this particular one said him, her, or no, him, he, or whatever it is, him, he. And Grums lost his shit. He tweets it. Elon Musk retweets it, and we're off to the fucking races. And it's like, you don't even know what it's about. Shut the fuck up. But then people are like, "Oh, Jaffe, it's not. It's the art director." In fact, I'm going to jump to this because we're all jumping around today, and that's fine. I want to show you this. So basically, from there, it got revealed that the art director at the team over at Obsidian that's making Avowed had tweeted out some stuff a year ago about, you know, very progressive fellow, like a lot of artists are, and he's just like, "Look, man, you know, there's a lot of crusty white dudes in this biz, and there have been forever. It'd be nice to get some black people working in the business." That's the gist of it, right? And people were like, you know, grumble, grumble, grumble. But then people came at me and they're like, how are you defending this? He hates white people. I'm just like, dude, I'm just talking about the pronouns. I'm not talking about the guy. I don't know the guy. You think everybody on the God of War team, if let's say you love God of War, let's say your favorite game of the year is Stalker 2. You think everybody on the team shares your political beliefs? You think they share your views about trans rights, gay rights, who they want to vote for if they lived in America? Harris or you're going to be real disappointed. You're not going to have much to play except one-man band indie games. Listen to this. This guy wrote me. I told him I would respond in the stream. And Bowser King writes me last night. He says, my question is, why is DEI needed when it has not done your side, my side, any good? My question would be, instead of hating on people you disagree with, why not listen to the concerns that customers state? I'd figure it's bad for business allowing us to bully your people in the comments. So, well, first off, let's be clear, because people, another person asked me, it's like, Jaffe, what if you were on the team that made Avowed? Let me see if I can find it. And if you were on that team, how would you feel if your art director kind of was like speaking for the team, and it was like, what the fuck, dude? You can't say all that, you know, and what I would say to that guy would be like, unless we have a policy, he can say whatever the fuck he wants. But if I was the community manager or I was the director, I would speak up and go, look, I happen to agree with some of his comments, but we're not a hive mind. We're not the Borg here at Obsidian. And one of the reasons that we've made some of the most beloved RPGs of all time is the fact that we have people from all walks of life working with us. We have passionate people. We have people who are politically engaged, artistically engaged, creatively engaged. And these are the people that you want all up and down the political spectrum making your entertainment, because it takes a fucking goddamn army to create these fucking things. And if you only play games, and more importantly, make games that are made by people who share the exact same political affiliations, you are going to get a lot of terrible crap. That's what I would say. And I would say, leave us the fuck alone. We're trying to wrap it up. If you really are bothered by pronouns, if you want to look at some of the guys that have made what is arguably one of the best Fallout games ever, and have made a handful of other beloved RPGs, and you want to walk away, I mean, think about how much of a gamer you're not. And you want to walk away from the table and say, just because I saw a pronoun in the goddamn pause menu, even though all the people who have played the game, let's say you have a right to be politically conservative, you have a right to be super religious and all this stuff and not like the left's take on things, but and that may be what this game is. But right now, all you know is a beloved developer of some of the most beloved RPGs of all time has a pause screen where there's a pronoun in it. The proper response, if you hate those things, is let me just wait and see what this is about. So I would say, I don't think you're smart enough to play an Obsidian RPG if you are so easy to piss off and scare that a pronoun is going to make you walk away from someone who has basically created some of the greatest games in that genre. It would be like going to one of the greatest restaurants in the world, but you don't like the way the parking lines have been painted in the parking lot, so you choose not to eat there. That's what it would be. That's how stupid it is to me, is what I would say. Okay. Oh, the satanic shit. So that is, we did a horror stream a while ago, and that's whenever somebody subs, thank you, by the way, over on Twitch. And I just don't know, I haven't taken it down. And so it made sense in the theme of the horror stream we were doing that when it's somebody subbed or something, it would put up I think it's the Last Supper, but instead of Jesus, it's like the Baphomet or a demon or something. So that's what that is. That's what that is. May in 67 says pronoun choice in the options of that game isn't an option at all. In gaming, there have been species which are like unisex, so being triggered over pronouns is stupid. Yeah. But again, even if you are, I think for me it's stupid. But like I was talking to that other guy, everybody has a right to their take on things. If you really are bothered by it, cool. But maybe wait a minute, give it a second to see if this is something that you can absolutely hate or not, These people are not gamers. They're trying to fit in by tearing it down and trying to rebuild around them. I saw this guy, Adam. I had never heard of this guy. Is his name Sean? He's a British guy. He has a channel on YouTube. Somebody said, Jaffe, have you seen this Sean guy? And he does these long form video essays, and he did one about the fake Stellar Blade hate. And I didn't watch it all, but I watched a little bit of it last night. And first off, even though he has me blocked on Twitter for some reason, which is fine. I mean, maybe I tweeted something he hated, like I couldn't tell. I don't know. But he has me blocked on Twitter. That's okay. I followed him on Blue Sky. He don't tell him. But I love this guy's take. I love this guy's channel. And that's exactly what he's saying, Adam. Adam in the chat was saying that. He's just like, these guys, it's like so much of what they say is not holding water. It's like, are you guys even playing these fucking video games? What are you talking about half the time? It's not what it is, So I'm with you. All right, let me see what this is real quick. Let me change this. Drive by Joe, thank you, buddy. I appreciate it. That's a very nice, generous super chat. He sends me. You can't see it necessarily if you're watching on certain things, but it's a little cute little blue pear, and it says it's the #1 fan, and I appreciate that very generous super chat. Drive by Joe. That's Joe. Drive by Joe. Thank you, buddy. That's very kind of you, man. Okay. You just finished Ludo the Dragon Age main story. Okay, give us a rating. 1 to 10. 10 is the best game ever made. 1 is an utter piece of shit that needs to be burned in the fires of hell. What do you think Dragon Age is? Thanato says Stellar Blade is my ish. I'd love to. I played the demo. I liked it. I plan on playing it eventually, maybe. But, I don't know. There's too much to play. Okay. Anthony says, is getting black people in the business more important than giving you an executive producer on the new God of War? You deserve it. They do it in music and movies. an executive producer credit. Well, no, because people, I'm not in the business. So getting anybody talented, of which obviously we need more diversity in the industry because there's not a lot. I was in it for a long time. It's getting better, but it still kind of sucks that gaming is so universal and it's, doesn't seem to make it easier to attract other folks out of the typical pool. But regardless, though, I would not take the executive producer credit. If they want to just give it to me and they want to pay me like in the movies, like a vanity credit, sure, I'd take it. But I wouldn't take it if it meant people who are good, whatever skin color they have, would not be able to get in the business. No. Listen up, Bub, says Twisted. Thank you. 33 months, buddy. He says, my pronouns are it, they. You got a problem with that? We can settle it on the red phone tonight only. TLC cage match, motherfucker. Let me tell you something, Twisted Sith. If you were not dying of extreme rapid onset stupidity, I would feel bad for you. But I just think it's funny that you'll expire soon because of that. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it. Okay. So you give Dragon Age, Anthony gives it a solid 9, and Ludo gives it an 8.5 out of 10. See, this is what, somebody wrote me the other day. In fact, on this stream, they sent me a super chat yesterday, and they said, I picked up Dragon Age on your recommendation. I love it. It's great, blah, blah, blah. And again, it's not that I want people to play something they don't want to play, and it's not that I want people to celebrate a game that is disrespecting a franchise that's not going the way that they were promised it would go or they expected it to go. I get all that. But man, I'll tell you, the number of people that are not in those categories that are just not playing it because that is sort of the thing to do because it's just become the conventional wisdom that it's a piece of shit. Holy cow, man. It's a really good fucking game. And people are just absolutely missing out on it that would love it for no reason other than it's just, that's sort of where it's fallen into the zeitgeist, and that's for it never to return. It's a real fucking shame. It's a real shame. Oh, shut up, Ravnos. You know what? Ravno? He says, this shit. Later, kiddos. Really? Somebody asked me, forget it. I'm not even going to deal with it. Let's move on. I tell you what. It's like, but I get it. That's exactly why videos in a lot of ways are better than streams. Streams, I think, are more fun to do, but videos are better because you can click on exactly what you want. But, anyway, okay. All right. Darth Nugget says, I changed my mind. It makes Ravnos leave. That's right. Okay. Does Starfield have pronouns? I don't know. I've played it, the first Starfield, not the DLC, but the base game was my favorite game that year. And I couldn't even tell you if it had pronouns. You know why? Because I didn't look. I didn't think about it. I didn't care. Why would I, any more than I looked at some other random stat that never really came into play. Anyway, all right, let's move forward. My delightful delinquents. Okay, so Machine says it does. Great. The saddest thing, it's a good game and the culture war nonsense is masking that, says Awesome. Yeah, absolutely. Talking about Dragon Age, 100%, 100%. Okay. I do want to remind you tomorrow, by the way, if you are Cult of Calypso, God of War tier, or mod over here, or in the Discord, we are doing Lunch with Jaffe 12:30 California time. That's about a 90-minute show or a 60-minute show, depending where you bring your lunch if you want. I don't care, but I'll have mine. We'll watch videos, play some games, just shoot the shit. It's just casual hangouts, basically what it is. So that's coming out tomorrow here at Gavin Games. Okay. Cantankerous, thank you, buddy. He says, we are making a dating sim card game. We decided, thank you for the super chat, but I appreciate it. He says, we decided to let the player choose how they want to date. Straight, gay, what have you. It's probably still going to make people angry, and that sucks. I think if you're making a dating sim, which is a card game, which I think sounds pretty fucking cool. I love card games, and I love card games because they can totally be about whatever, and they can still be fun, even if actually simulating that activity, like gardening or something, may not be fun. Simply the fact of putting it in a card game, you could totally make something great. And this sounds like a really great blend. So, but you're right. I mean, if you're making a dating sim game now and you don't allow people to have that choice, especially in a game like a card game, which I think, is not really your sort of red meat type of players. Yeah, they would be pissed. They would be pissed. So it sounds great, actually. Send me, if you got an early build, I'd love to play it, man. I would absolutely love to play it. So, Helen, if it's really good, go to Sony and say, would you guys please fucking finally make a PlayStation card battler? Can you imagine? Why the fuck haven't we gotten a goddamn PlayStation version of Hearthstone or a PlayStation version of fucking Marvel Snap? It's absolutely tragic. Tragic, I say. Okay. Oh my God, what? Who saw this coming? Infinity Nikki comes out tonight, tomorrow. It's got a 9 on IGN, and the Metacritic's at like an 81 right now. The PC's at an 80, and people are saying it's really fucking good. People are like, that have reviewed it anyway. It is a gacha game, but they're like, it's not. Only a few reviews have said that it is horribly financially, money grubby, but for the most part, it sounds like it's really good. Like GameStar said, it's a visually stunning but gameplay-wise shallow free-to-play game about fashion, but that's not what I hear from most. DualShockers gives it an 8. Infinity Nikki's delightful dress-up experience worth checking on a whim. Its creative gameplay provides countless opportunities to create the perfect look for Nikki, with near limitless clothing options and accessories. The open world can sometimes feel bland, the various activities and puzzles, and they go on to praise those. The lowest is, let's see, Polygon didn't rate it. They said it's created the most earnest and sometimes absurd story with Infinity Nikki, centered around a traditionally feminine value style that connects all sorts of different players. What you get is something that'll both bewilder and dazzle you, even when it's frustrating. And look at it. It's a fucking beautiful. It's not even woke. Jean-Claude says too woke for me. How is this woke? This is the girl game. This is just girl stuff. Is girl stuff woke? It's girl stuff. You couldn't get more girly than this shit. But I still want to play it. It looks great. I hear the open world is really fun. It's cozy, like it says, the coziest open world game. You've got. I'll show you what you can do. I was gonna play, maybe later in the stream. I'll play the Euro. Here's the Euro gamer video they put out for it, just so we can have it playing in the background
after spending over.
But this is kind of what it is. And is it on everything? Yes. Well, it's definitely on PlayStation. It's definitely on. Bukaki says this looks gay as fuck. I mean, cool. Then color me gay as the day is long, because I think this looks cool, man. I like cozy shit, and I think these girls are kind of cool, and why the fuck not? I'm in. But yeah. So apparently it is on Epic Game Store, PS5. I don't know if it's on Switch. I'm pretty sure it's on Xbox. It looks like they know their audience, something AAA developers need to learn, maybe. But I don't know if the anti-woke crowd, this is going to be too Anne of Green Gables for them. They're going to be like, where's the tits? Where's the nudity? You don't think it's on Xbox? Let me see. But I think she looks cool. I think that looks cool. The graphics are cool. And I want to say that the developers, some of them worked on the last Zelda game. Because it's open world and this is open world and there's like lots of little platforming and puzzles and exploration and events that you can that they'll keep refreshing and stuff. So, I mean, I'm definitely interested in trying it, but I will say I played Zenless Zone Zero, and it's another gacha game, and the execution of that game was fantastic. But I was not interested at all after about 20 minutes, because it just was like, it got very samey. Warped Eye says it looks like playing with virtual dolls. Yeah, I'm totally cool with this. I don't know, maybe it's not masculine enough for some of you guys, but I don't know. It doesn't bother me. I think it's neat, man. In-game purchase for Vera Dark Scan. Hey, get your money where you can. No full-blooded male would play this shit, says Magnum. Well, then I guess I'm not a full-blooded male. When did that become a necessity to being a good thing? I don't care. This is the type of game I would have to appear offline for so the homies don't see. What's wrong with us? Why can't we just like what we like? Why can't we just like what we like, man? This is cool. Give a shit. This looks great. Anyway, what's the plot and gameplay loop? I have no idea. My guess is you're collecting some kind of currency via exploring puzzles, platforming events to create opportunities for her to expand her wardrobe is what I think, but I don't know. Does it have multiplayer? That's a good, corporate says type of game I could play with my niece if it has multiplayer. That's a really good, actually, that's a really good question. Let me see. Infinity, spelled it wrong. Infinity, Nikki. I imagine it does. Let's see. In terms of crossplay, it has no multiplayer options of any kind. Well, there's your answer. Not at all. Not at all. But it is open world. Here's the stuff that you can do. Let's see. Do anything you like. Dress up freely with the power of whim. New landscapes, adventures, and friends are awaiting. Jesus, slow down, internet. Jump and float. Go fishing by the river. Chase butterflies and flower fields or relax in the sunset. You can take camera pictures. Immerse yourself in the coziest open world goddamn game on the block. You got, and your outfits have abilities. So like if you can find this outfit or build it, you can float in the fucking air. Wind of Purity. Bukaki's not allowed to wear this. It unleashes the power to purify the dark essence in Esslings. Whatever. Bye-bye dust. This is the euthanasia outfit that you go when you're doing to put down grandma. Look at that. Look how cool that is. What she got in her hand? A little cupcake or a sponge? I don't know. Grants the ability to groom animals in exchange for valuable materials. That's cool. You can groom animals. You can fish. Grants the user a fishing rod if you wear Rippling Serenity. There's a lot of these. Afternoon Shine. Catch various bugs and insects. I'm playing the fuck out of this. I'm playing the fuck out of it. When's the last time you caught a butterfly, says Zack? I've never caught a butterfly in my goddamn life. But let's think about this. Let's see. If you had to marry one of these Nikki Infinity ladies, would it be Bubbly Voyage, Wind of Purity, Bye-bye... Fuck it, I'm putting a poll up. That's what you do. That's what you do when you're, which will you marry? No. Will you take to prom? Yeah. We'll do Rippling. I'll just say Fishing because I don't want to care about their stupid names. Butterfly Collector. And who else do we get? We get, what's this lady do? She's a groomer. Shut up. Animal groomer, idiots. And then Wind of Purity. I don't know. We'll just say it, the Purity. No, fuck that one. We don't know what it does, and plus I only have one more option. So then we'll put in Bubbly. This is the one that lets her float in air. Which one of these ladies are you taking to prom this year, boys? That's the question. Or girls, whatever you're into. Will the poll stay anonymous? Asking for a friend, says Jay. That's right. That's right. Okay. Okay, who do we got? Let's see. Floating. Let's see where we're at. Right now, Bubbly Voyage is ahead. Fishing. See, I like fishing. I like that's only 13% now. She's kind of tomboyish, but she loses her mind when she gets rolling. And then the animal groomer's 22, the butterfly collector 17. So everybody's loving the bubbly girl. Hello, take me home with you. Okay, that's how she sounds. I did the voices for it. Jaffe, it's too colorful and pink for me after the obscure atmosphere of Dragon Age. Well, yeah, why not just put, yeah, fuck you. All right, here we go. Let's move forward, shall we? But this is out, I think, tonight, and we'll see how it does. I'm excited. Sean Layden had a pretty interesting group of interviews with Eurogamer regarding the 30th anniversary of PlayStation. I just want to give you some of the choice quotes. The one that he's talking about PS3, he says PS3 was Sony's Icarus moment. We had PS1, 2, and now we're building a supercomputer, and we're going to put Linux on it. And we're going to do all these sorts of things. We flew too close to the sun, and we were lucky and happy to have survived the experience, Layden says. Going to PS4, we learned things like buy it, don't build it if you can. In other words, don't build everything from scratch, buy shit off the shelves, put it together, make good deals with people like NVIDIA, blah, blah, blah. And they also said they learned that it's got to be a game machine first and foremost. And it absolutely has to be all about gaming and not what Microsoft was trying to do with the Xbox One, which is a multimedia experience. But then he goes on to say, and this man, I've been saying this, and he's been saying this for a very long time. And it's so true. In this, we've already heard from him, but it bears repeating because it's one of the wisest things that has been said about the business of video games in the last 10 years. PS4 generation, which is the last he was associated with, he says game dev was $150 million if you wanted to be top of the line. That's before marketing. So by that math, PS5 games eventually will reach 300 to 400 million because he's saying it doubles every generation. He compares modern game dev to the elaborate, expensive cathedrals being built towards the end of the 18th century. Interesting. You know, Layden's smart that that's the metaphor or that's the comparison. But he's right. Can we continue to build these massive edifices to God for this incredible amount of labor and time, he asked, adding that he's afraid we've built AAA gaming into a kind of cathedral business that's probably grown too far already. And then this is the clincher. This is the clincher. He says, how do we cap that? How do we bring that back? I think part of the answer is, and it sounds simplistic, but hear me out, I think games are too long. He's absolutely right. I haven't even opened Red Dead Redemption 2 because I don't have 90 hours, and I'm retired and I don't have 90 hours, he says. For the longest time, we kept banging on the 100 hours of gameplay. This is going to be awesome. It's got 100 hours of gameplay, he says. Like, that's the most important thing to know. That was a metric in the early years, but what average gamer then was 18 to 23, and when you're that old, you're time rich and money poor. But as the average age of the gamer moved into the late 20s, the early 30s, it's the opposite. Maybe you're not money rich, but you're definitely time poor. So listen, this is the brilliant line. So I think our approach is a mismatch to that market, to reality. It is delightfully fucking true. And I don't know, because the article goes on to say many people agree, but they're still chasing after the big hits that are over 100 hours, right? And so how do you fucking do that? And I don't know if it's, you know, if the amount of money you can make if you are able to get a hit is so much that is going to be worth the risk forever, or if there is going to be a collapse of so many of these expensive games that we're going to have to see something change. And hopefully this is one of the things. And then listen to this. He says, the final thing he says, and the issue of development costs compounds when 100-hour games meet the modern game obsession with photorealism. So devs are spending tons of time and resources across a game's development when perhaps only 50% of players see the end of your game. He says most people, you know, are not finishing games, which we know. He says, what would Coppola do if you walked out halfway through his movie? Well, you can go to his last movie that just came out, and he'll give you can see exactly what he'll do. But still, his point is valid. You know, it is like I'm enjoying. Okay, see, this is the interesting part. So Adam says I love long games. I get that. Just like I love TV series. Like I'm not saying there should not be those kinds of games, right? There absolutely should. I think it's really cool to have a game that just feels like a really big fucking meal. But when that is the main thing that is being sold in the AAA market, I don't think gamers want every game to be that. And if you look back at a game and go, wow. I mean, even take Ragnarok, which I know a lot of you guys loved. I didn't care for it all that much, but if that game would have had 50% of its content cut out, it would have been cheaper and it would have been faster and it would have moved and it would have been like, okay, this is pretty fucking good. Things are happening. Silent Hill 2, for the most part, I thought was pretty well paced. It kind of got bogged down in certain areas, but otherwise it was like, shit's going on. And I don't know, I agree with the guy, but then you also have to factor in all these games that are, never ending. I don't know where is this gonna pan out, right? I think we will go back in the AA and single A space and indie space to what Layden's talking about. We're already there. But I don't know if you're going to invest, kind of like we had this one guy in yesterday who works in video game finance. And he's like, the thing is, if you're going to invest in a game and you're only going to make a profit, like, hey, we made $20 million in profit, and your competitors are making $1 billion, $2 billion in profit, it's like, it's not worth it. So you're always going to swing for the fences, even if it means the losses are going to be greater. So I'm very interested to see how this moves through the business and how it affects design. Brett Moore says long games scare me these days. Like, they scare you off. I can see that. That's why, Metaphor Refantasio, I would love to play it. But that game is going to have to be such a fucking miracle of game making to get me to even get halfway through it, given how long it is, that I'm almost like, I'm not going to play it. Although I hear it's great. I hear it's one of the best games, if not the best game of the year. Yeah, played half of Ragnarok on PS5, but finished it on PC, says Lord Garth. Yeah, but you at least finished it, man. But there are some shorter games in the other spaces, which I love. Hector says World of Warcraft, with its pretty short story campaign, is a fascinating example. It takes maybe 10 to 15 hours to do the main story. In-game loop can be 200 to 300 hours. I think that's cool. Diablo does that as well, although I don't know how long the Diablo core game is. But, that may be the solve to it. Fonzie says that's the exact same reason I haven't bought Metaphor, is because it's probably 80 hours. I have less life to give to games now. Right. Awesome says that game Metaphor is 80 hours at least. I'd rather play 3 or 4 10-hour games. Yeah, like Mouthwashing is a great game. And While We Wait Here is a great game. Both of those are like 3-4 hours long. But what I will say on that, though, is, it's really, this year has been fascinating when it comes to the Game Awards or nominees, because so many games are coming out now in December after the cutoff in late November. Like, Stalker is not going to be on there. Maybe Infinity Nikki should have been on there. Maybe Indy should have been on there. There's like 3 or 4 other games, like, that are just not, that people are slowly discovering, right? So like Mouthwashing, I saw Gene Park play. Mouthwashing is nowhere on those nominee list. Then I heard, I think it was Asmongold who was playing Mouthwashing, and I don't know if he liked it or not. But again, I think it's one of the best games of the year, one of the best horror games of the year, and it's absolutely, no one's mentioning it on list that Keeley's doing in a couple of days in his show. It's just kind of nuts. Did you see the trailer for the Pac-Man episode? No, I have it coming up, but I haven't watched it yet. I haven't really watched it yet. Everyone likes a good game. Everyone hates bad games. So why we pretend just to fit in? Well, Feast, because it's subjective. A good game to me is Dragon Age Veilguard, but it's clearly not a good game to you guys, which is fine. But okay. All right, let's move forward. I will say this, though. Anthony Wright writes in, is AAA gaming getting too difficult for entry-level gamers? I don't know. Here's what I'll tell you. I definitely think as gamers are, whether they're getting older or not, there are older people still playing games. There's younger people coming up behind them, of course. But as you get more older people playing games, it is, there needs to be something that really takes that into account. The money that is being left on the table by people who are, 25 and up because they don't have the time to play games at the length they are, or the games that they're playing is just like, dude, who are you tuning this for, right? Which is not to say there shouldn't be difficult games. Of course there should be difficult games. And of course, if you can do both, but I think it's wrong to ask the player to be the one that is going to go into the options. Like, you can go into Dragon Age and be like, there's like 6 difficulty levels, and then you can drill down to advanced and change hit points of enemies, and not specifically, but kind of at a global level of like, I want enemies to be stronger or weaker, blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, you don't want to ask the user to do that. I think they're really, I think you're going to see somebody lean in, maybe at the AA space, to that aging gamer audience. And I don't mean like senior citizens gaming, although that will be a thing eventually as well, but just the majority of gamers will not be, 10 to 18. It may not be now. And the older you get, the worse your reflexes are and the less time you have to game. And so I definitely think that there is a real business here, or a real opportunity in business here, to go, what can we do to sort of make that audience and serve that audience? Younger gamers are evolving to pick up controllers easier and faster than previous generations, says Controller Sports. That may be true. Do you have data on that? Or are you just, I imagine in some ways that may not be true, because a lot of younger gamers are just doing the touchscreen. Everything is in the 8-bit and 16-bit era were harder than today. Everything today is easier. Well, yeah, but regardless, it's, your reflexes are still going to slow down. So whether or not it was easy or not, the fact is, I assume Anthony's writing this because he's asking, is it getting too difficult? I don't know if it's getting too difficult so much as the way they're currently solving being more welcoming to other players, both from a time and difficulty standpoint, is probably not working all that well. Just make every game like God of War. It doesn't matter what difficulty you're on. That Hades pillar will fuck you up. Yeah, but that was a mistake, see? I know you're kidding, Hector, but people like to throw that at me. And I'm just like, yeah, it was terrible. We just didn't know. We didn't have patches back then. I wish we would have. That would have been fantastic. Would have been fantastic. All right. You see this? This is another thing. So, look. I am not. See, that was Calvin asking if I'm on GeForce. That's how popular it is here, because it's the best fucking thing to play on. I'm telling you, don't buy a console this Christmas until you know if you can get GeForce. Don't you fucking do it. Don't you fucking do it. You will regret it. You will fucking regret it. Deceive Inc. Listen to this. This is another big problem, is what creates a hit anymore. This company is officially out of business to the point that they've closed their YouTube account. You can't even go to their website now and see the videos. You have to go to YouTube. But this was a game, and it was good. It's nothing amazing, but it was different. It was, you played a bunch of spies, with kind of a Fortnite art style. I know. And, you, have all these cool gadgets and weapons, and it's multiplayer, and you try to break into places and steal gold, and then get out before the enemy teams kills you and steals the gold. It's very clever. It's very interesting. And, again, it kind of ends up becoming one of those things where as it's designer porn, because most games that have clever game design multiplayer do not hit. They just don't. People want to play team deathmatch. That's what 90% of the audience wants to play. And so it's a real shame that a game as interesting as this it's only a year old, and it just could not sustain and stay active and alive on the market. But, and so they're out of business as well now. So I guess the game's going to still run, but did anybody play this, or was it just me? But it is fun, Hector. It's a fun game. But it just never, I don't know what it takes. Maybe you got to pay a really influential streamer, but even that, you can pay somebody a ton of money and they'll play your game for a couple days and it'll be on top for a couple days, but ultimately it's got to live or die on its own. And I don't know. I'm not sure. I would have to go back and play it and really study about why. My guess is it was just too complicated. And most people just want to shoot the shit and shoot their friends and, you know, barely have enough of a tactical thing. I think that's probably what it is, because I suffered from this too doing Twisted Metal 2012. As a designer, I was all like, I'm going to design these systems that are so deep and complex and they can interface with each other, and a good team will figure out how to work together to create these scenarios, blah, blah, blah. And I do like to think, at least in the mode called Nuke, that is in there. But fundamentally, though, it came at the expense of making the game really easy to play and just fun at a very, very base level. So, you know, I assume that's kind of what happened here. It's like, yeah, if you know how to really play this game, it's probably one of the most clever pieces of design in multiplayer this year. But I think most people were just like, this is too much to think about, you know? Yeah, Fonzie says this is a cool concept, but it requires teamwork, so it's bound to fail because you can't hate each other like in League of Legends. Okay, why? I mean, teamwork's required there as well, though. Why did that one work, but not this one? I'm telling you, future generations are going to go against the norm, says K-Nubs, and they're going to play the thousands of games from the past and stream them, and corporations are going to shit their pants. I mean, I don't know why you think that, but I'm sure there will be some of that. I mean, how many movies have that story? Not a lot, not most, but enough to have really great narratives, like It's a Wonderful Life that came out and bombed and nobody gave a shit, or Blade Runner that came out and bombed and nobody gave a shit, or Fight Club that came out and nobody gave a shit. Perhaps we will see that. Can we name a game where that happened? I mean, the closest I can think of off the top of my head is Rainbow Six Siege that came out and people liked it, but it was too janky and buggy, and then it now has become a big perennial hit. But is there a other game that like came out and nobody gave a shit, but someone discovered it 5 years later and everyone's like, oh my God, this is the coolest fucking thing in the world? You start out excited to build deep, intricate, complex systems, says corporate game designer, and then a few years later you see the light and the IQ 150 of simplicity is elegant. Yeah. And what are you really selling? Because when you start out making something really complex, what you're selling is the gamer going, this is so clever, and it's your ego and it's the pat on the back, is you're selling them the ability to pat you on the back for how clever you are as a designer. But what you really want to be selling them is, I feel like a badass, or I feel cool when I'm playing this, and I have a good time to hang out with my friends while I'm playing this. And that's the service part of the job that I think a lot of them forget. And I forgot as well. So, which one? Fonzie says Among Us. Didn't that pop off way later? Was that out for a long time? For Honor, that was out for a long time before it got to be a big hit. Sea of Thieves, I think, was big from the beginning. It wasn't, as big. It's grown over the years, I think. And Spec Ops. Okay, so Spec Ops: The Line is a good one. People still talk about that. I just bought it for the first time last week, and I've still never played it. So it could be that. That could be maybe the closest one that people are still talking about and still playing. Yeah, No Man's Sky, your faulty launch. I don't think No Man's Sky, though, or Cyberpunk really work, because those are games that launched really buggy, and now they're not buggy, and people were able to see what they were. I'm talking about something that's pretty much the game as it was launched, and for whatever reason, like let's take Dragon Age. Let's say that the wisdom of the masses is wrong. And yeah, people are rightly pissed because it's not the Dragon Age they wanted, and then there are some people who are putting it into the culture wars. But let's say in 5 years, people start picking it up and going, this is pretty fucking good. I'm talking about something like that. I'm not saying that'll happen for it, but, Okay. Yeah, Critically Realist says, if you want to make a high IQ game, this is not the audience. Multiplayer games are in general for low IQ people. Well, I mean, that's not true. I mean, I know what you're saying. I wouldn't say the games are for low IQ people. I would say the games are the ones that thrive, not always, certainly not something like League of Legends, but, Call of Duty or Fortnite, they tend to be games that are, you can bring whatever mood to the table. If you want to be strategic and all that shit, you can, and it'll pay off to some extent. But you can also just run around acting a fucking fool, and you'll also get payoff that way. So it can appeal to the low IQ aspect of everybody, but I don't think that they only appeal to low IQ people. Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. It was never huge, says Fonzie, and it only got popular years later. Okay, well, maybe we do have that. Maybe we do have that. Zack says, Jaffe, what would you have done differently with the games that you worked on if given modern day tech? I mean, the biggest one that comes to mind is God of War with the rotating pillar, because we could have actually released a patch day one and said, oh my God, no one would have ever complained about it because it was terrible. We just didn't know, until it was too late. So, I mean, that would be one. I would have loved to have released Twisted Metal 2012 on the PS4 when the infrastructure and the online stuff that Sony was doing was much more, figured out and processed. And it was more of just kind of like a turnkey solution. Whereas when we were doing it, it was very much like, Xbox was a generation ahead of Sony when it came to all that online stuff. And so much stuff just didn't work, or it worked, but if you had your NAT set to the wrong number or something, you were fucked. And even if you changed it, if you would log in at the wrong time, you were fucked. It was all kinds of So I'd say those would be the two things I would want to change the most about the games I worked on if I had today's tech. Yeah, Wallace says it would have been awesome. PS4 2012 Twisted Metal. I agree. I'm very proud of that game. Another thing we did with that fucking game was I was so proud of the nuke mode in that game. It was really smart, blah blah blah, but we missed a bug is what we did. We missed a bug where the mode was you had to chase these missile launchers around and you had to kidnap the boss of the enemy team, drag him behind your car, throw him into this grinder that launched the missile, and you had to steer the missile into the statue, right? But once the missile was launched, we missed the bug that said if you just barely collide with it with any flame-throwing weapon, it had like 5,000 hit points. So you could destroy it once it was airborne, but it was tough and it took a team effort. But all someone had to do was have a flamethrower, which, was not a big deal. And if you barely touched the missile with it, it was instant destruction. And the minute the community discovered that, the whole game, not that it was ever popular because it was too complicated, but that player base just collapsed because people would be like, yeah, okay, we won't do it. And everybody did it every single fucking time. So that pissed me off. But, we didn't know any better, right? Would you remaster Twisted Black or full-on remake? I wouldn't remaster. I mean, the only one I would consider remastering, not that I can, I don't own them. Somebody's asking, well, why didn't you put it on PS4 then? It's because it wasn't my choice and it didn't sell well enough to merit the effort. And remember, the infrastructure of PS3 was so different to PS4 that it wasn't just like, that's why you can't do you can't do a lot of emulation just instantly on PS4, PS5, and PS3 because the architecture of the hardware was so different. And so you couldn't just snap your fingers and port it. So it would have required Sony to really believe in it, to go, yes, we shat the bed, but we don't need to lose on this. This is a great game. And that just wasn't a conversation. Plus the team had collapsed at that point. So there was no one to really make it. Ludo says, Jaffe, do you analyze everything while playing a game or let yourself be immersed? I think if I'm playing a game, like I don't work in the industry anymore. So if I'm playing a video game for fun, while I might notice things just out of, knee-jerk reflex, I end up playing it just because I'm having fun. And so I don't really think about it until I go back and go, why is this working? Like I'm thinking, I've been trying to start a video game club, like a book club on this channel for a while. And I tweeted out the other night and I said, can you guys recommend some games that are like 8 to 10 to 12 hours and they really have a lot of depth to them, so that we could actually pick one that's not going to be too much of a commitment to play through for everyone who wants to be involved. And it's not just like a multiplayer shooter that has nothing to talk about. And I was stunned. I got like 100 really good examples. And so, for me, I'm actually looking forward to going back and playing and analyzing games, Ludo, like that. So to go and play, so like if we say, let's do Spec Ops, and we do Spec Ops as the first game, I would play it first as a fan because it's not that long. And then I would go back again and I would really sit there with a notepad and be like, okay, let's really get down into it. And then I would invite the people who want to have those conversations to do the same, and then we would film it and talk about it and put it up on the internet. I think it would be fun. I don't know if anybody would watch it, but I definitely would like to have the conversation regardless, so we'll see. Okay, what else we got going on, boys and ladies? Look at this. Who'd you romance? Who did you romance in the Dragon Age Veilguard? They released that today. I guess today was Dragon Age Day. Now, if you didn't play it, most people didn't. It's not going to matter. I just want to point out a couple things. The old guy is the last one people wanted to romance. You know what? Fuck you. I'm so tired of the ageism in this fucking community. Fuck you all, but fine. This girl, Nev, was the number one. Number two was this kind of Lucanus, which is kind of this sort of suave, Spanish-esque kind of dude, which I guess makes sense. The third one is Tosh. So fuck all the haters. The third one is Tosh, which is the trans dragon character that everybody hates. Well, they don't hate them enough or her enough to be the number third, coming up bronze with the romance. I'll tell you what. Now I don't know what the end result of romancing these people are yet, but the only ones I really flirt with are Harding, which is 4 and 5. 5 is my girlfriend, Balera, but she's in 5th place. 6th place is Darvin. So I don't know what to tell you. I know, Ludo, you finished it. Was it Nev for you? And what happens if you successfully romance these characters? Is it a sex scene? Is it just, what exactly occurs when you romance them? Or is it just like, oh, there's a scene that they walk into a room and it fades to black and it fades back up and, they're smoking cigarettes, or what actually happened? I like Tosh and always use her, says Anthony. I like Tosh as well. She's awesome. I mean, they're all good for different reasons. Darvin's great. Emmerich, I love Emmerich. I love his character. But yeah, they're awesome. Luke Anus, there you go. So you didn't see a sex scene. So what does it even mean to successfully romance somebody then? Is there a payoff, or do you just, I don't know. But anyway, if you're curious, there you go. There you go. You get, yeah. All right. Nintendo delays Alarmo's public launch in Japan. You know what? Nothing that this thing has done has made me want one of these until I saw this. And I know this was probably a clip from the video they put out, and I still don't really want it because I have a phone. I don't really need an alarm clock. But when I saw this and there's Link down there by the fire, and I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool. I'd be kind of cool to get one of those on the back shelf when I do the morning stream when there's no green screen. But these are selling out, right? You have an Alarmo? You forgot Bukkake? What do you mean? Like, is it turned on and it works and it's just so stupid you don't use it? Or is it in a box somewhere? Hello, Rob the Mod. Good to see you, man, as always. I'm very curious about that. Can you have it be the old school Link? I have no clue. I think they'll be updating it. Yeah, Hector, it's just a fucking fancy alarm clock. That's all it is. That's fucking all it is. But it's got, it's got all the little sounds you can wake up to, and it's got little animations, and it wakes you up gently. I guess it determines if you're moving around or whatever. I'll probably end up picking up one of these. It's kind of cool now that I see it. I don't know why it took this shot to sell me on it. I think just the other stuff. Okay, you took it out of the box. You never plugged it in. Why? I don't understand. What's the point of having it? And I think right now you can only get it, right? You can only get this if you go to the Nintendo store, and I think they're sold out, right? If I go to Amazon and type Alarmo, maybe I can get one from Temu. Okay, well, yeah. Oh no, they're selling a screen protect for Alarmo. Let's see, where can I buy Alarmo? Nintendo Sound Clock, official site. Let's see, here we go. They're probably sold out, I would imagine. Nintendo Switch Online required. Yeah, it's sold out, so you had to be an online member to buy it. I am a Nintendo Online member, but I didn't want it until I saw that goddamn screenshot, those son of a bitches. All right, well, I'll get one when it eventually drops, but yeah, that's cool. Why didn't I care before? Why do I care now? Maybe I'll sell my wicked Elzaba doll that has the porn site misprint and, trade somebody for that, though. They'll be, yeah, it's $100. They'll be selling it soon. There's just a delay. I see. Look at this. My first, look, I'm going to watch the trailer. I haven't watched the trailer yet, but I mean, at least the title's clear on what it is, but my first Gran Turismo? What? What a dumb title. What a stupid fucking title for my, you'll wake me up for $50. Just call me in the morning. There you go. Oh, interesting. Anthony says, I took advice from Howard Stern. Your alarm goes off, you sit up, put your feet on the ground no matter what. That's pretty good. Yeah, they're getting sued for the Wicked doll. We're talking about it on tomorrow's show, but isn't that something? I knew they would. And the lawsuit is batshit stupid. It's so horseshit. They just want a settlement. But this is called My First Gran Turismo, which is like, what? Who's going to, I mean, I'm watching Star Wars with some of the members last night, and Alex is basically on there going, where are the adults? Why are there's all these kids? I want something more mature, right? Like, right? And I'm showing you guys Infinity Nikki, and it's like, that's a girl game. So where did Sony get it in their brain pans that gamers are going to show up to play a game called My First Gran Turismo? But anyway, here it is. Let's watch the trailer. I've not seen it yet. Hey, it's free, I think, so that's something. This is Rob's sex song. This is what he puts on. I mean, you know, it looks pretty good. I mean, I haven't played it because I suck at these games, and I like Forza Horizon, and Controller Sports says Wreckfest is better. I mean, yeah, I like Wreckfest a lot more, but, you know, it's free. I'll give it a try, you know. Let me say this. Dutch Destroyer has stepped up and said, I am joining the Diet Soda Soldiers. Thank you, Dutch. I appreciate that very, very much. Everybody give Dutch Destroyer a pickle tickle and a little bit of advice via emote. And this goes out to you, Dutch. Let me give you some great advice that really is important for everyone to know. I can't help but be racist. It's true. That goes out to you, Dutch Destroyer. Thank you, buddy, for being part of our community. Lord Garth, been a member for 36 months. He says, anybody want to join my class action suit against Jaffe for not scheduling promised lunch with Jaffe back in the day? Hey, we got one coming up tomorrow. Tomorrow at 12:30. Garth, you going to be there? Don't fucking play with my emotions and tell me you'll be there and you care about lunch with Jaffe and you don't show up, you son of a bitch. Thank you, Hector, for that emote. That's wonderful. But yeah, we'll be there tomorrow. I love Wreckfest, and I love Wreckfest, and I'm very, very glad that that game is coming to. The sequel is coming out really pretty fucking soon, I think, is what I understand. Speaking of racing games, Crash Team Racing Nitro Fuel, the remaster, remake. You know what I'm saying? Shut up. It's out today on Xbox Game Pass. I'm excited. It's got online. I don't know if it has crossplay or not. I have never played it. I have never fucking played it, and I'm looking forward to it. So this is just so you know, DayZ, Goat Simulator, but more importantly, CTR, Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled, is out. Jaffe, are you done with the D&D with what's-his-face, with Hector and Collide and Retro Gaming Queen? No, I'm waiting for a reschedule for the follow-up. And Hector's putting together a D&D campaign as well. I do not think, Ludo, they should make a new Destruction Derby game. Only because that exists already. Like, you can play Wreckfest, and there is a Destruction Derby mode. And, you know, it's kind of hard to just sort of stay focused on one thing when your competition does everything, right? Is it not on PC, or it's just on it might be on PC. I mean, I don't know. Do you know that for sure? I mean, if they never made it for PC, let me open up Xbox real quick, or Xbox PC. Let's see. What do we got on there? Come on now. Recently added to Game Pass. Yeah, it's not on there. I guess it's only a console game. CTR, let's see. Yep, nope. Not at all. So you were right. Close this so I can see this again. Cores, I don't think cores for console only. I think core means it's the, I mean, I could be wrong, but I think it's the base price. Like it's the cheapest that you play. And then you can go up and then go up to Ultimate, I think. And Ultimate means you get like the cloud and you get it on PC. I think it's, you know, it's, they keep changing shit. I have a question for you guys. Hang on. So this is a Kotaku article. I'm not going to read you the article, but the gist of it is holy shit, February is looking like a fucking stack month. Monster Hunter Wilds, AC Shadows, Kingdom Come Deliverance, and Avowed is coming out. I'm curious about this one, though. So when you have a game on Game Pass, let's say Avowed reviews really well. Like, let's say it reviews as well. These are all within, you know, between an 82 and a 90, right? So they're all good games. If you have a game on Game Pass that's pretty much coming out the same week or the same month, do you think that's going to cut into games like Shadows and Monster Hunter Wilds? It's like, because I want Shadows, and I'll be playing it on the subscription service for Ubisoft, but if all you have is Game Pass and these other ones are things that you purchase, do you actually think you'll start seeing a cut-in of sales to these other games if a Game Pass game is similarly reviewed? Why do you think Avowed is going to bomb? What's going to cause it to bomb? Everything I've seen so far looks good, and it's on Xbox. It's on Game Pass, so, you know. Kingdom Come is awesome. We're going to watch the 10-minute trailer of the new Kingdom Come in a second. You think Avowed is going to bomb, Assassin's Creed is going to perform so badly. I think Assassin's Creed Shadows, what they put out recently, the ninja stuff, looks awesome. Fonzie says, for me, I'm more likely to buy it. Like, if I already am going to get Avowed anyway, why not buy Monster Hunter Wilds? Okay. Right, but I mean, I don't think most people, like the Call of Duty thing is proving, most people, if it's on Xbox, don't care to own it. So most people are like, oh, get on Game Pass. And this is what they're doing. Avowed will get my time out of those four, says Tatum. Avowed said they moved the release to February to avoid November's release. Bad move. Well, I think they moved to avoid the game, the Game Pass crush, not the business in general. Avowed isn't bombing, says 1 minute, especially after all the attention. The charismatic grifters say it's going to bomb. I mean, yeah, I mean, it might. I mean, again, like I said earlier, there's absolutely, it's such a, you know, I don't care if people don't like me. I have enough people. I mean, I'm not like some kind of robot. I want to be liked, but I have enough people that like me. I don't need everybody to like me. But I got to say, man, whoever you like to watch on the YouTube and shit, just come on. What are you doing? If you're really watching content creators or whatever, or tweets or whatever that say that because this game has a pronoun that and you know nothing else about it, you're going to avoid it. I mean, again, that's fine. Do what you want to do. But fuck, what's the matter? I mean, again, you don't have to be a gamer. It's not like, oh, that's some kind of badge of honor. I don't care if you think of yourself as a gamer, or I don't think of you as a gamer. Who gives a shit? I'm just saying, it's like, my God, what are you willing to miss out on just for a little bit of, I mean, it's nuts, man. Like, okay, you guys know, I tell you what, I am a devout agnostic atheist. It's a thing. Look it up. I am a devout agnostic atheist. But I still happily watch religious movies when they're good. I don't believe in them, but I watched that movie, The Shack, about the guy who apparently gets a letter from God because his daughter dies, and he goes and he hangs out for like a weekend in this beautiful Thomas Kincaid-esque painted scene with God and Jesus, and I think like nature, who's personified as this very beautiful young woman. And it's super religious-y, but it's awesome. And similarly, there's a movie called, it's with Jennifer Gardner about their kid that kind of falls into a tree and they can't get him out of the tree. I don't know, shut up. And they pray to God and shit. And it's a great movie. And I'm like, you're not going to play I just can't get my head around it. You're going to literally walk away from an RPG made by these guys because there's a pronoun? What's the matter with you? What's the matter with you? And then people are like, it's not that, it's the art director. Okay, you're going to walk away from a video game because one guy on a team of like 200, 300 has political views you don't like? What is wrong with you? Grifter says, Adam nearly put me off Dragon Age, but I didn't listen, so I can imagine how many got put off by their BS. That's terrible. Terrible. Jez Belly says Christian media is absolute dog shit. Well, most of it probably is. Those two movies are great, but every Christmas I hate watch Kirk Cameron Saving Christmas because it is the most delightful cringe fest. Some of you hate watching me right now think I'm cringe. Watch Kirk Cameron Saving Christmas. It will give you faith that if you ever worry you're the dumbest person on the planet, it's Kirk Cameron. Do you believe the grifters made Dragon Age to fail? Critical. You mean, let me make sure I understand your question. You're asking Hector, are you saying did the grifters make it fail? No, but the grifters contributed along with a large number of other things to it not performing at the level it needed to for EA to be happy and keep going, I imagine. What cancer movie? There was a cancer movie? Kirk Cameron Saving Christmas? No, that wasn't a cancer movie. That's about him being a smug asshole telling about his brother-in-law the meaning of Christmas. It's so dumb. Okay. Watch R.M. Brown critique Kirk Cameron Saving Christmas. I haven't seen it, man. It's so bad, though. It's so wonderful. Wonderfully disturbing. Do I believe in the magic in a young girl's heart? Sure. Jaffe, do you know how much hate pops up just because I'm a follower? The algorithm of Twitter and YouTube brings it to the front. Sorry, Charlie. Do I think it would still fail without the grifters? Well, here's what I think. I think that, as I've said, there are three things. There's the grifting part of it. There is the, this isn't what we were promised. This is not the tone we want. And then there is this isn't Dragon Age that we've come to know and love, and we assumed it would be, and it's not, so go fuck yourself. I certainly think the latter is probably the most offensive and meaningful as it relates to what caused it to fail. But I certainly think the grifting was like a heaping helping of spice on the meal of, putting this thing out of its misery before it was fucking even released almost. Okay. You see every hit piece on me? I might watch one tonight and make a video or live stream. Not on this, though. I'm trying to stay away from that on this stuff. Okay. Marvel Rivals comes out, what is it, tomorrow or the next day? I think it's tomorrow. It's this week. It's this fucking week. They say Marvel Rivals Battle Pass won't expire at the end of seasons, meaning you don't have to worry about ticking every single box and reaping max rewards before time runs out. That's pretty good. The fear of missing out element of Battle Passes has been a massive pain point for the live service genre, and Marvel Rivals has effectively remedied the whole issue. Now, I mean, listen, I don't know how this thing's going to survive. Now, I hope it does, but I don't know how it's going to survive if these guys don't walk something back or add something, because all they're selling is cosmetics, right? You get all 33 characters for free. You get all the levels for free. You can buy the battle pass, but all the battle pass unlocks are like costumes and items. Nothing really affects gameplay. And I played the beta a couple of times when they had it, and I enjoyed it a great deal. It was a great deal of fun. And I'm looking forward to playing it when it comes out in a couple of days. And the new characters, Wolverine looks great. Is it Shang-Chi is in there? Cloak and Dagger are now in there. Black Widow is now in there. You know, I hope it does well. But it is a little weird to me that they're coming out with all this stuff and it's like they're not making you pay for all that much. If you're asking about the Battle Pass, so like here's the Battle Pass, what it has. The Battle Pass features exquisite, dazzling cosmetic items on par with those sold in bundles. Below is a video showcasing a legendary quality costume series from the SO, the standard quality Battle Pass, I guess, which will cost you, that's a bundle, right? So I haven't quite gotten their lingo down yet, but everything is priced to like standard price, like 100 lattices is $1. 12,000 is $100. So if you need what it'll cost you, I don't know what they're charging for it. Here we go. Luxury Battle Pass is 5,000. 500. So 500 will cost you $5. It'll cost you $5 if you want the luxury battle pass. That comes with 5 costumes, related cosmetics. After purchase, you redeem items by earning chrono tickets in the game. Meanwhile, the free battle pass still offers 1 epic quality costume. So this is basically the battle pass giving you legendary quality costume series from the first season's battle pass, I guess, is what this is. I don't know who. Oh, hang on. It's too big. I don't know who. Yeah, right. It's cheap as fuck. It's cheap as fuck, and it's all cosmetic. So don't fucking ask me. I don't know how they're gonna make their money. Maybe they just think it's gonna be volume, because it's free. It's on pretty much everything. It's characters people love, and they want to dig into Fortnite. Maybe they're kind of looking at it and going, look, we know we can't charge $10. We as much as we are Marvel and as much as we are the most beloved characters on the planet for a lot of people, if we go in there, we know we're going to get volume. It's a good game. It's easy to play. It has these beloved characters. And it's cross-play with everything. So if we go in there and we actually undercut the competition with $5 battle passes, maybe that's their theory on this is how we cut out Fortnite, possibly. I have no idea. And I even wonder if they're going to, I mean, you don't walk away from Fortnite, but part of me is like, are you going to keep putting Marvel shit in Fortnite? Human Torch would be fun. Yeah, TJM. Absolutely. Absolutely. You would pay $30 for an orange brown Wolverine skin. I'm sure they're going to do that. I'm sure they're going to do, they're going to have some of those, money bag skins for sure. We almost released a skin. I mean, again, we had big ideas, but the game barely survived. It was like, dead in 3 months, but we had an idea in, Drawn to Death. We wanted to have a character that was just this, terrible, dumb skin. But the only difference between it was that when you shot it, instead of bleeding, money came out. So it was just like a troll skin and it was going to cost like $500. It was like, I'm so rich. I don't give a fuck. And when you it's that person, because when you shoot them, they're bleeding money. And we're like, it took Steve, who was the art guy. It literally took him like in Brian Gans, it took him like, half a day maybe to just put that in. So it cost us really nothing to do. And so we probably would have sold probably 100 of them. But again, that money for Sony would have been nothing. They would have been like, it's not worth it. But I thought that would have been cool. Okay. K-Nub said, of course it's a scam. But it's a troll scam. So it's like, yes, you know, you get to enjoy the fact that you can shoot the guy that's got a lot of money, and he gets to enjoy the fact that I don't care if you shoot me. I'm going to bleed my money all over you. Enjoy what you don't have in real life kind of thing. That was the idea. It was meant to be trolly. K-Nub says, this is all great and dandy, making people money. I believe the current structure of making money for video games will be irrelevant in 10 years. What say you? I think, I mean, here's what I say. It's all going to the cloud. It's not going to be that long before cloud becomes a very meaningful part. And ultimately, sooner than later, a majority way people get their video games. And in that, yeah, you're going to see business models shift. You're going to see subscription. You're going to see ads. You're even going to see, I had something when I was pitching Drawn to Death that I called, I don't remember what I called them now, but it was basically, it was a system that would play YouTube videos. Before you went into a match. So if you watch the YouTube video, at the end of it, it would ask you like 3 trivia questions to prove if you engaged with it. And if you got them right, you got like, you know, to start with a buff, which was totally cheeseball, but it was still like, you know, you're not paying for power, but you are using your attention to get power. You know, it's simple trivia questions. Like you watch the Spider-Man ad and it's like, you know, in the trailer, who was Spider-Man fighting? It's like all it was doing was proving you were watching it. So we could charge more for the ads, basically. But yeah, I think you're going to see all that kind of stuff as it goes to the cloud. I understand what you're saying. Where'd he go? Darth Nugget, LOL. It's definitely not all going to the cloud. Most of it is. It's absolutely. Hello, Daniel. It's absolutely going to the cloud. I don't. All you need to do. I saw somebody tweeting it the other day about. They said, "Oh my God, I'm playing Baldur's Gate 3 on." GeForce Now on their TV, and I think it was their TV. It was in the living room, wherever it was, and he's just like, it's like magic. It's like I don't care. I'll be here. Maybe if you can, you know, if you're still around, hit me up in a handful of years, and you will see. And let me remind you guys right now. Listen, it's free, so give it a try. If you go over to Luna, in fact, let's try it real quick. You can go to Luna right now, I believe. I don't think you need Amazon Prime, but you might. Luna Amazon, which is their streaming services. Well, you can say it's not going in the cloud. What I'm telling you is once you experience it, as brilliant as it is, you're like, of course this is what's going to happen. If you go over to Luna, they have this month, I don't know when it's launching, they will let you play for free. What's that? The Kojima game, Death Stranding, right? For fucking free. Imagine sitting in front of your fucking TV set. Here it is, Death Stranding Director's Cut. Let's launch it and see how it looks. Okay, I am wired right now, and I have about 580 down, and I'm about 200 miles from the nearest data center. Okay. Here we go. Continue anyway. Now I haven't. Let me change my screen real fast. Hang on. I'm not going to play the game. I just want to see how well it runs real fast. Let me turn this on, this off, so you can see the big thing. Let me get the chat over here so I can see what you guys are saying. Okay. You can already play the game on phone. Why do you need to stream it? It's not the point, man. The point is you don't have to buy it. You don't have to download it. You don't have to clear off space for it. It just is there. Just like a TV show. It's yes, right now you can do a lot of things, but why would you need to? Why would you need to worry about it? Ben Hayner says, Jaffe, I've heard you talk to Colin about how Resistance Killzone didn't sell well back in the day. Sony's unlikely to bring them back. I was 15, so no money. Guess who's older now with money? Right. Yeah, I'm not saying a nostalgia play isn't a value. I'm just saying that I don't know if Sony looks at it and says, is that nostalgia strong enough for people to motivate people to buy it versus a new IP that we could, and I mean, especially when people have nostalgia for something like Dragon Age. All you have to do is look at Dragon Age and go, again, I think they shat the bed on Dragon Age when it comes to they should have known better of going so far afoul tonally. But that said, though, you got to be real careful making sequels, man, when you let a long period of time, because all that really happens is the stratification of nostalgia, and you remember things different, and it's very difficult for a developer to actually live up to that, given that what you remember has just as much to do with what was happening in your life when you played it than it does with the game itself. And so you got to be real fucking careful is what I would say. So yeah. All right. So here's direct, it wasn't loading. I was talking to, who was I talking to? To Ben. So it was sitting here waiting for me. Right. So let's go to new game. Let's just see how fast. We'll go to normal. And so what I'm saying is, though, the idea, yeah, you could put this on your phone, but in the future, it'll just be like you sit down, hey, what's on whatever, Luna? And it's like, oh, this. Okay, let's try it. And you're off to the fucking races. It's just like TV. All right, let's see. Oh my God, come on. This is what'll push people away. Get to the game. Come on. Darth Nugget, do you really want, I mean, Darth Nugget says cloud streaming will always be supplemental for most gamers, not the Candy Crush types. You gotta have vision, my boy. You gotta have vision, baby. What I'm saying is once the games adjust to the business model, the art adjusts to who's paying for it, right? So you are absolutely correct that I don't think the average soccer mom that plays Candy Crush is going to play this game. I think you're absolutely right. But I think once there is do you know how many families sat down at Thanksgiving and played stuff this year on their TV, whether it was Apple Arcade or the Switch or
Once there was an explosion.
or what? Let me see if I can skip all this so I can get to the gameplay. And imagine now just being able to sit down and turn on the fucking thing and you're playing a really cool narrative game that the whole family is making choices together and shit. Critically, why would you ask me if you can ask me a question? I've always seen in movies where they do that. It's like, can I ask you something? It's like, I'm right here. We're already talking. You don't have to ask me. Yeah, what? What's up? Of course you can ask me a question. But I just want to see how this plays. Okay, so like I said, I haven't played Luna in a while, but so far, playing pretty good. Well, poor Sam Bridges. Cloud is in future, Jaffe. Wake the fuck up. No, I'm not gonna. You're just wrong. You don't experience it. You don't get to have the experience I'm having when I play this game or any Cloud game, unless you've had that experience. And you say, I've had the experience, Jaffe, as good as you, if not better, and you still believe it, then I'm with you. Then at least your opinion matters. Wayne says, good game. Fuck you. If my connection worked like yours, I would move to the Cloud. Right. I'm not saying now. I'm going to kill this. Let me just pick something really fast on Luna that's free because I don't subscribe to it. I just want to see how fast something plays. But there you go. Death Stranding. What do you want from me? No, thank you. What else is free? Give me something fast. Mega Man. Split Second. Remember Split Second? Come on now. Use an Xbox controller. I don't care. No, I'm not pairing shit. Go fuck yourself. Oh, use my phone as a controller. No, I don't want to do all this. Just read my controller. All right, well, never mind. The point is, you know how fast it is. It's awesome. Look at that. These are all free, by the way. If you have Amazon Prime, they give you free games every month. What's the matter with you guys? Go try it. Go try it. All right. You hear kills baby seals? That might. Yeah, I didn't even know Split Second was on this thing. Fuck it. Let me try it with my phone. Fuck it. Let's pair it with my phone. I want to try it. I want to see how this works. All right. Use your phone. Fine. Idiot. Fine. It's not going to play well because it's a phone, but this is a racing game, okay? So, oh, God, download the controller. Go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. Yeah, Split Second was awesome. I agree. I don't know yet, Alex. It depends on what my plans are for tonight, but I'll let you know. Okay, open the controller. All right. I've tried the PS Backbone. It's great. If you don't want to, the problem is you got to carry around a fucking backbone with you everywhere, but it works good. Oh, shit. I don't remember my fucking Amazon password. Do you really need a password for the controller? God. Well, I hope I remember it. Fuck. I just, does everything have to be so fucking hard? Yeah, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Fuck you people. Fuck you stupid fucking people. Let me use my fucking keyboard. No. I'm trying to give you a free ad for my very skeptical audience. And you won't let me do it. How about Mega Man? Can we play Mega Man without a fucking controller? No, we need your fucking thing. Fuck you. Fuck you. No, you fuck you. Yeah, I got him. Okay, this seems like it's going to work. All right, good. Let's play some Mega Man. I'm not going to play. I'm going to get back to news. I want to try this. All right. No buying, no downloading. It's just there waiting for you. It's just there waiting for you, boys. This is the future. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to say. I know you guys like your little, you like to buy and have your shelf and all that shit to show off to the ladies when they come over. I get it. Those days are over. I don't care about the year. Let's go. No. I just want to see how, look at this. Luna is free if you have Amazon Prime. I mean, you still have to subscribe if you want certain games. Oh my God, just let me play. Oh, Nawdog, she worked for Stadia. And Stadia was really good tech. They just had a terrible business model. What's the jump button? Does he have a jump? Of course he has a jump. There it is. It's kind of hard to play with the keyboard, but... Come on now. I mean, this is all streaming. How are you not impressed? How do you not think this is the greatest day ever? Oh my God, run, Mega Man, run. Anyway, you get my point, whatever. Let's go back to the news. Well, I'm playing it on, I'm playing the goddamn thing on, oh my God, I don't even know how to end it. I'm playing without a controller, so it's very smooth. You don't even notice it. You goddamn right, Rob the Mod. How can I get out of this fucking game? Tab? ZX? Can I fucking quit? Okay, please, quit the game. I just want to be done with the game, please. Alt F4. Fuck you. You wouldn't notice it either. I'm so tired of little bitches coming in and talking to me about, well, the physics demand there's the lag. Yes, I understand. But what I'm telling you is it's not noticeable. It's as physics also demand that there is a lag when you play a game. Hang on. Well, I don't want to I don't want to kill Chrome. Oh my god. How do I end this fucking thing? Jesus, enough. Exit the fucking game. Physics also demands, though, that you have lag when you're using a wired controller. The signal still has to... I mean, I'm telling you, it's not noticeable. But, you know, I don't care. I mean, I care, but I mean, don't play it. Don't be part of the future. Fine with me. You'll have no choice sooner than later. It's just such a dumb excuse about the physics. Once they figure out how to get around the physics, we'll have time travel. It's not noticeable. It's not noticeable. I didn't see your question. What was your question? Hectorhowl, I will tell you that I played all of Star Wars Outlaws in the cloud, all of Black Myth, which I didn't play 100 hours of it, but I played that in the cloud. All of Dragon Age in the cloud. Anything I can play in the cloud, I play in the cloud now. I get the best. I played all of something else in the cloud as well. All right, critically, what is your question? Can you type it again? I don't know where it went. Yeah, it's nuts. I mean, because it's the reason is it's just okay. Awesome Tatum. The question is now, if you have played a bunch of these games in the cloud and your internet or your distance to the server farm isn't working, that's one thing. But I can tell you, I mean, I played tons of what's that top-down game from the guys at Moon who did Ori and the Blind Forest? That thing's in the cloud. Critically says, what was the personality of the poor women you objectified in God of War on the ship? They just disappear, never to be seen again. I don't know. But again, this is why I really struggle with people who want to call me misogynistic or whatever, is because they literally talk about play Celeste in the cloud. Okay, where do I get it? Who is it on Game Pass? Is it on? It's probably on Steam. Let me get through my stories, then I will real quick. I don't want to play Death Stranding. It's not Death Stranding 2, but people talk about that like, oh, they're objective. Why? Because they're enjoying sex. He's not forcing them to have sex. That's the thing. It's like people are so quick to just go, if it's sexual, it must be bad. It's just goofy, you know. Internet in the U.S. can't handle the strain of playing big games from a cloud. Really? I mean, I've shown it ad nauseum. Should I show you again? Sure. Let me. Do we want to do this first, though? Do we want to watch Kingdom Come Deliverance? It's a 9-minute hands-on. Let's watch that first. We'll watch. We'll save these for tomorrow. I'll save that. This is the cool new trailer from Kingmakers. We already talked Infinity Nikki. Oh, there's the Very Dark thing I might watch tonight and do a reaction to. Where did it go? But yeah, let's watch Kingmakers. No Rest for the Wicked. Right. Okay, yeah. Give me any. If you're saying Celeste is the, if you're saying Celeste is kind of the litmus test, then when I wrap up this core stream before I shut it down, I'll play Celeste for 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. I am going to go get another Coke and pee, and then we're going to come back and watch this. Is there anybody that can jump on the phone and the Discord to entertain the audience while I'm basically taking a 3-minute break? Because I'm not leaving until I hear from somebody who's going to take over the show. I don't want to leave you guys hanging. I'll just go to Game Pass, but let's go through this first. Are you going to be going over any record a message? Oh, not today, but I do have a couple from you that will be on tomorrow's show as well. Let me get all that lined up. I'll do that tomorrow. Do I see myself ever buying a console again? It probably a Switch, because Switch is obviously, they're like, we're not going to the cloud, so go fuck yourself. And they have great enough games I can live with that. So really it comes down to, do I ever see myself really ever buying a PlayStation again? And if they relatively quickly start putting their games on PC, like if they make me wait, like if PS6 comes out and there is another Ghost of Tsushima, which is, and it's great because the second one was great too, or Ratchet or whatever, and it's a year to wait for PC, then yeah, I would get a PS6. But if they start bringing that down to 2 to 4 months, then no, I'll never buy another one. But I'll happily pay them, and I'll happily subscribe to them. But I have absolutely no interest in it otherwise, because I'm enjoying cloud gaming so much, man. Okay, let me bring in Hector, if I can. Hang on. All right.
I can't help but be racist.
All right, Hector.
All right.
All right, Hector and Alex, please take care of the stream. I'll be back in 3 minutes, and we will start watching the Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 Deep Dive. Good.
Hello,
All right, you go.
Jaffe stream.
All right, be right back.
Yeah. How's everybody doing in the chat? Can I get some thumbs up if you're doing well, and some thumbs down if you're doing, could be better? Waiting for them. They're gonna come up. You got your emoji?
There's a delay, right?
There's like a 7-second delay, so they
7
still may not
seconds.
come up. They might be fucking with you, but regardless, though, there's a 7-second delay.
That's cool. So I'm gonna take it as everybody's doing just all right. Now, Alex has clarified a wonderful thing to me. There are not, in fact, 7 galaxies. I'm not quite sure where that idea came from, but at the end of the day, I wish there were 7 galaxies. So how about we do a thought experiment? Alex, would you tell us about, if there were 7 galaxies, what would be exciting about them?
Well, first of all, if there were 7 galaxies, we would have a chance to discover them all. But we can't even discover the first galaxy, right?
Right.
It's pretty hard because the technology is not as advanced. But if you're a believer, as I was asking Jaffe, if you're a believer, you might experience or discover these galaxy with the third eye. But he doesn't believe in the third eye. Do you know anything about the third eye?
Do inform me.
Okay, first of all, when you close your eyes, you meditate, you get to leave your body. And you go to another realm. And you can, explore the galaxy if you want to.
Have you had much experience with this?
No, actually, I think the monks can do that. You have to be very experienced.
Okay, so it's like a years of study kind of thing.
Exactly. Not everybody can do it. Some people, maybe they're born with it. Some people, they don't know that they can travel. Like Jaffe has what's it called? Sleep apnea. He has a machine and he's using it, and sometimes he travels, but he doesn't know when he smokes up a pot, smokes up weed, he can travel because I don't know how he does it, because I think the machine, he's using the machine a lot. He discovered that by smoking pot, the connection of the machine and the pot, it becomes an astral project, like some kind of how do you call it? You gotta help me.
Okay, so what you're saying is that through the power of drugs, we can see the 7 galaxies.
Yes, with the sleep apnea machine, you gotta use them both.
Are we ready? How was the chat, you guys? Did you take care of them all good?
They're pretty good, I think.
I think
we're doing okay here.
Cameron didn't give you a thumbs up. He shot you the bird, you son of a bitch, Cameron. All right, here we go. Thank you guys. I appreciate it.
You got it.
No
All
problem.
right, talk to you guys soon.
Jaffe, when is the Call of Duty stream?
I don't know yet, Alex.
The 20th is in 2 weeks. You know
I know
that.
it'll be this week. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. Keep
All right.
practicing, baby. Keep practicing.
I can't help but be racist.
Okay.
It's true.
All right. We are now going to watch. This is 10 minutes. Trouble Tech says I feel dumber. Come on now. All right. Listen, here we go. This is, I'll stop it periodically if it's interesting. I never played Kingdom Come, the first one, so I have absolutely no idea if it's good, bad, or otherwise. People seem to rave about it, which is good. And so let's see. Here we go. Exclusive depth, deep dive, blah, blah, blah. Hang on. I got to get you a full screen. One sec. Okay.
This Henry guy just can't seem to catch a break. When we last left the blacksmith's son turned knight at the end of the original Kingdom Come Deliverance, things were finally starting to look up for him.
We did a fine job.
But the sequel, in true video game sequel fashion, starts by knocking him down a peg or two and dumping him into a new, larger open world to regain his dignity, one side quest at a time. And to be honest, that's refreshing.
If you do not believe me, try me.
The story of Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 picks up almost immediately where the first one left off, but it's certainly not essential to have played it to follow what's going on. Thanks to an extended intro that brings you up to speed on the broader strokes. The year is 1403. Henry is a village boy from Bohemia, modern-day Czech Republic, who saw his home burned to the ground due to a civil war for the crown taking place between two half-brothers. He ended up in the service of a frustratingly good-looking nepo baby, Sir Hans Capon, to try and help out the supporters of the royal brother, who isn't going around burning down villages. And that plan got a little sidetracked.
What's the matter? Females! Let's go to them.
It's not exactly a start back from square one though. Henry began the first game as the kind of old school RPG protagonist who is really just some random guy with no skills to speak of. He could barely hold a sword, and the unforgiving combat really made you feel that until you put in the time to master it. But Henry's a seasoned adventurer now. He knows how to read, which is practically a superpower in medieval Europe. And while you were out partying, he studied the blade.
So, Rob, was the first game like a comedy? It was funny, or a mix, or what? Joker, I'd play that game.
This is reflected in the changes to combat in KCD2, which the developers described as lowering both the skill floor required to play competently and raising the skill ceiling for the most devoted warriors. There are only 4 attack directions now instead of 5. Thrust attacks are no longer a separate attack button and have instead been folded into the combo system for weapons that make sense.
It was a
with them
mix,
only.
okay.
Parries are a bit easier to pull off, and much to my delight, blocking can now defend you from multiple attackers, as long as they're all in front of you.
It's nice and gory. That's cool.
Basically, whether you mastered KCD1's combat or not, the lower skill requirement at the very beginning models the fact that Henry is simply a better fighter by now. But careful stamina management is still the core of every scrap, and button mashing is one of the quickest ways to die. I came across plenty of challenging
Jonas.
encounters,
Okay, cool.
even as someone with more than 100 hours across 2 playthroughs in KCD1. It's not as easy to spam your way through them by getting a couple of powerful combo moves down to muscle memory.
Mercy, spare me.
The world of Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is quite a bit larger as well, with 2 distinct maps about the size of the first games that you can travel back and forth between once both are unlocked. The terrain feels fairly familiar, for the most part.
It's funny, it looks great in the environment,
basically
but
just
the characters
over the hill
look
from
not
where
very good.
KCD
I mean, I don't
1
care,
left off. But the level of detail on the terrain and vegetation is a noticeable step up, and better yet, it's way more optimized. My RTX 4070 Super still can't run KCD1, a 6-year-old game.
Oh, well, you should stream it from the
But
cloud.
What I played
Oh,
of
well.
KCD2
Sucks to be
rarely
you.
had any performance problems.
You won't.
The centerpiece of this new world is the city of Kuttenberg, which is quite a bit larger, denser, and more vibrant than anything we saw in KCD1. It's certainly no Paris or Prague, but navigating its crowded streets and markets, taking shortcuts through back gardens, and admiring its grand Gothic architecture is a complete change of pace from wandering around muddy woodland trails. It's big enough to get lost in, built on a realistic scale that makes towns in a lot of other RPGs feel like tiny dioramas.
It's first-person Witcher, basically? All right, cool.
The side quests I got to play were also very open-ended and complex. The most notable example of this was an arc involving 2 rival sword schools in Kuttenberg, with the older and more established one, who just so happened to support the wrong king, trying to force out the newcomers, who were loyal to our boy, the rightful heir.
You didn't forget to ask me. You've asked me 20 times, Alex. I've just not had a chance to answer
and display on the walls of the
No,
town
I
hall,
will not be
which would
streaming
seen
my
as an
first
open call
playthrough, but
for
if I love it,
challenges.
I'll
the
stream
quest
it.
doesn't much care how you get the sword. I took a sneaky approach, picking a lock to the guild side entrance, but often you'll be able to choose violence, or even diplomacy, to solve your problems. What it does care about is whether or not you got caught carrying out this little false flag operation, as it can affect how the tournament between the 2 schools play out. I, of course, maintained plausible deniability and won the competition for my school, but there are a variety of other ways it could have progressed, some of which have long-term consequences.
I don't know why I find the violence funny. Like, it's just, it's goofy, but it's cool.
Unbreakable and undefeated.
Another quest gave me the option of killing or talking my way past some quote-unquote bandits. And I was told that if I didn't kill them,
K-Nubs,
they might
why do you
show up
think it's
later
going to have
and
a
present me
huge
with
Steam
new
player base?
opportunities.
Lord von Bergov sent us to find
Yeah,
the
Brett Moore,
renegades who ambushed
Rob,
some
can you
knights
answer
out
that?
down
He says,
by
is
the
it kind of a
pond
role-playing and
yesterday.
immersive
A couple
sim
of them fled
together?
and are hiding out here in the rocks. So tell me who you are and what you know about it.
Skills and perks have also been expanded upon, and the perks themselves are generally more powerful. Some of the ones in the first game offered a boon and a penalty, which made them feel more like side grades. Perks in KCD2 are more straightforward upgrades, which they should be, especially if I'm going to spend my scarce, hard-won progression points on them. Almost everything else Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 has to offer feels like a careful refinement of its predecessor.
What do you mean
War
a
Horse
focus
isn't
on
reinventing
realism?
the wagon wheel
Like,
here.
what- how so?
Diplomacy still takes into account factors like what clothing you have on and how clean you are, with a new system of saved favorite outfits so you can quickly switch between combat gear and something more suited to
I'm
a
super
soiree.
interested in
But
this. This
time,
looks
there's
awesome.
more emphasis on picking the right
Where's the
thing to
black
say
people
for the
at? In this, the game, people
situation,
were
instead of
upset there
just
were no
the
black
option you
people
have
in
the
it.
best stats for. Alchemy is back, allowing you to craft various potions and concoctions. It's been made
Yeah,
less
Hector, it could be
fiddly.
the Uncanny
There's a new
Valley
blacksmithing
in the
minigame for
sound.
forging your own gear
This
and
is not an
making a bit of
8-year-old
coin,
game. This is
following
brand
in
new.
Henry's father's footsteps.
It's
The
not even out
reading
yet,
skill has been replaced
Anthony.
by scholarship, which is gained by reading books and can provide boons like
I mean, the
opening
first
up
one you
new
mean,
dialogue
yeah.
options. Henry's still crap at reading Latin though, and I'm not sure if that could be fixed. And in addition to new, more diverse movesets for all kinds of melee fighting, Henry can finally get his hands on some guns. Now, this is the early 1400s, so
Hello,
we're
Maverick.
talking about extremely primitive firearms, the kind that had the tendency to
It has
blow
real
up right in
places,
your
real
hands.
historical people, real gear, based on real shit depicted
So
as
who
real
go
as
expecting
possible.
to be
Okay.
medieval John Wick? But if you point them in the right direction from close enough range, there's really no amount of armor that will save your foes from the blast.
Cool.
Then you probably want to grab a sword because the remaining foes will
Yeah,
not
I hate
stand
that
and
you
wait for
guys.
the
I don't. I mean,
subjective
I have.
eternity
I'm
it
running
takes
at a
for you
very
to
high
reload.
bit rate on this stream. I wish you guys could see what I see. Because it sounds like it looks shitty where you are. But I guess that's a YouTube thing, right?
In
That's
just about
me.
every sense, Kingdom Come
Anthony, you're
Deliverance
saying
2
it's
is
not a
shaping
good
up
game?
as simply
Really?
a smoother,
Rob's saying it
prettier,
was his game
more
of the
refined
year.
continuation of the things I liked about the original. The core mechanics are mostly the same, but sharper and with deeper progression. The world looks familiar, but broader and more grandiose. I had 2 whole days to play
corporate
it,
gaming,
and it
that's
felt
right.
like far too little. When I was first turned loose from the stocks to pick my own path to glory, I felt that tingly feeling you get the first time you play Skyrim or The Witcher 3, of a massive world full of diverse adventures that aren't just clearing icons off a map. I look forward to spending dozens of hours exploring, gearing up the authentic medieval weapons and armor, and progressing through the improved perk system. Maybe Hans will stop being a huge bag of dicks too.
We've got no message, no coin, nothing but our ragged asses.
You know, anything is theoretically possible. I'm just glad I won't have to wait much longer. For even more from Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, make sure to stick with IGN all December long,
I mean,
as our
that's
exclusive
cool,
coverage
man.
continues.
Yeah, I agree with
But
you,
for now,
Adam.
make sure to check out the opening 40 plus minutes of gameplay.
Oh, 43 minutes of gameplay. All right, well maybe I'll do that later, not tonight, but let's have. Yeah, I want to play it as well. I want to play it as well. If you guys get the chance to pick up this game, do it. Don't even watch the trailer. Yeah, I'm going to pick it up, and I'm not going to worry about playing the first one because it sounds like this one is an improvement in all kinds of ways, and I'd rather just go in with that. But let's have a palate cleanser though, right? So here is King. It's called Kingmakers. This is a minute trailer. This is well, you know what this is. This is awesome. I can't wait for this. Here we go. Time traveling back to the day. Come on, man. This is that. It's one of those. I wish I would have thought of this and made this ideas. Come on, man. Come on, man. I love this so much. I love this so much. I mean, people would be like, "What in the
6
fuck
months to unite his people.
is happening?" Look at that. Look at that. That's the coolest thing ever. A motorcycle? Come on, man. Come on, man. This is the greatest game ever. Hey, come on. This is excellent. I mean, come on. Oh, fuck. Fuck. Oh, come on. Oh, no. You're shitty. Come on, man. Come on, man. What the fuck? Oh my, this is the best.
Not on the throne. It's over. Forever.
I'm so pissed I didn't come up with this. I would have been so rich. God. Look at that. Oh my God. Come on. Oh my, fuck you. Oh my shitting God. Oh my shitting God. Were those like F-15s? This is like what it's going to be like when the aliens invade the Earth. We're going to be like, what in the fuck? Look at this. Oh, look at that. Here they come. I mean, an air... Come on. I mean, what's even the point? What is even the fucking point? If you're fighting against this guy... What in the goddamn fuck is happening? Because you're like, just fuck it, you win. They can't beat this guy. I mean, maybe one of them, but if he can call in an airstrike, why is he even in the field? Just fucking sit up on a mountain and go, you know what, bitch, I'm Merlin. This is maybe where Merlin came from. Yeah, bring in a nuke. Oh, it's delightful. Okay, that's different. K-Nub says, Jaffe, you told me one time when I called in it's not worth the effort to have fully destructible environments. Depending on what the game is, if you're making Twisted Metal, for example, which is probably what we were talking about, and you destroy everything, ultimately every level very quickly becomes Holland in Twisted Metal 2, which is big open field. And so you don't have anything to take cover behind, you don't have any mastery of the layout. But if you're talking about a game like this, which I don't know what the moment-to-moment scenarios are, and I don't know, there probably are going to be things that you can't destroy, or maybe the things that you only have 3 bazooka missiles, right, per mission. And so, yeah, you can destroy anything, but you can't destroy everything. So strategically, you have to go, what am I going to waste those bazooka hits on, right? Am I making a cameo in Twisted Metal 2? No, because it's done shooting and they never asked me. Magic is probably all they would have to level the playing field. Yeah, it would be great if like halfway through the knights are like, fuck this shit, and they release Merlin, who's been in the dungeon, and it's like, okay, we need you. You were right. We can't kill this time traveler. And then you've got F-15s fighting fucking dragons. People ask me, Jaffe, do you wish you were still making games? And 99.9% of the time I say, nope. I'm very happy not making games anymore. If somebody told me, Jaffe, this would have been your next game, I would have been like, oh, I so regret not making this. I love this. I'm a big fan. I can't wait for it to come out. I don't know when it's coming out. Let's see if it says 2025, so next year sometime. There you go. Yeah, bring in Harry Potter. Yeah, do a crossover with Warner Brothers. That's right. Oh, that's delightful. Fucking love it. Fucking love it with all my heart and soul. Okay, let me see if I have any more news, or we're going to do Darth Nugget's stupid condescending test, and I basically show him how dumb he is. If you want to see my top games, top game, Xbox Game Pass was 82 hours of Call of Duty. 25% was my whatever. Pow World's my number 2 game. Oh, you can't see it, can you? Hello, Rocco. Good to see you, bud. Here, these are out today. So if you go out today now and you look at Xbox, they'll tell you what your Xbox, I don't know if it's just Xbox or Xbox Game Pass highlights, your year in review. So I played 54 games, 200 hours, mostly on PC, of course, best way to play. Console, 4 hours, 181 hours on PC, 12 hours in the cloud. I thought you loved the cloud, Jaffe. I do, but I play on GeForce Now. Call of Duty number 1, Power World number 2, Starfield number 3. Number 4 is Stalker. Of course, this was going to go up. This just came out. Sea of Stars, Sniper Elite 5, Sea of Thieves, Metal Slug Tactics, blah, blah, blah. What are yours? Check them out. Check them out and see. I'd be curious if, I'm sure most people have Stalker in there. I assume most people have Call of Duty in there. Haven't heard a lot of people talking about Metal Slug Tactics, but, you know. Cyberpunk, Starfield, and Veilguard were my top 3, says Fuzzy. Yeah, those are all great. Love every single one of those fucking games, man. Okay. Let me, okay, so I'm going to do a really quick test, but one moment, and then I'll just go to the chat. But I just want to see if, let's see if GeForce Now has, oh wait, Calvin's on GeForce Now right now. He's playing Fortnite, so I don't want to kick him off. Maybe I'll do this tomorrow, unless it's on Xbox. Let's see. Now I will acquiesce that the cloud gaming on Xbox is not as good as GeForce Now, but it's still pretty good. All right, Celeste, here we go. Okay, it's in the cloud, I think. Yep. All right, here we go. This is in the cloud. I have Starfield in my top, Solitaire in my top 20. It may be Gnaw Dog, but it's still really good. All right, so now I suck at this game, so take that into account. But this is me playing what Darth Nugget demanded in the cloud. No downloads, no updates. It just works. And I know a lot of you guys attribute that to Todd Howard, but Todd Howard is not the guy that made It Just Works famous. I want to say it was somebody at Apple, and he might have just been saying it. But Starfield, Call of Duty, and Vampire Survivors, says Duro, are my top ones. Okay, cool. All right, here we go. Let's climb the mountain. I've already been playing it, but well, let's jump in here. I don't want to go through all these cutscenes and shit. I don't even know what I'm doing. Okay, jump. This is probably not going to be a good test because I suck at it, but what do you want me to do, Darth Nugget? Here we go. I think I have a dash. Okay, I have a dash. Okay. I have a jump, dash. Do I have a double jump? How do I reset my, do I have to touch a wall to reset my jump or something? I've always sucked at it. Okay, now, see, this is what you guys do on the internet. Now he's like, but why do you suck at it? I suck at it because you know I suck at these kind of games. Trust me, I'm not sitting here going, I don't have control over it. It's got nothing to do with that. Okay, I guess I have to push off the wall. I see. You hold L2. Okay. I'll take a call if you want to call in real quick. Sure. It's Celeste, but it's... Come on, give me something else, Darth Nugget, to prove your dumb point. I can't play this, but it's not got nothing to do with the cloud. I just can't play it. I suck at it. I want to, you know, come on. Your dash resets when you land. Okay, well, what else would be good? How about Doom Eternal? Would that be a good thing to play to show how stupid Darth Nugget is? Nugget says, well, for people who don't suck, no, you won't. No, there is no delay. Here. Anyway, I mean, don't play in the cloud. What do I care? Go fucking, you know, be a fucking relic. Whatever, you baby. Yeah, I got him. Well, he's convinced that input lag is like makes it impossible to play. And I'm saying, no, it really doesn't. Would Wreckfest be acceptable? Is DMC5 in here? You see DMC5? 9 Souls? 9 Souls I don't think is super fast though, right? I'm not playing to play. I'm playing because I want to explore the latency, the lag. Anything? Okay, how about Liza P? Liza P will do it, right? That'll work? Does that have a parry system? Okay. I don't play Call of Duty in the cloud, no. I could, if you'd like to see it. I don't know how good it is, though. That may be the place where you don't, even though my son plays multiplayer shooters in the cloud, but he's not like a core gamer. So that may be a place you notice it, and that's totally fine. That totally makes sense. But that's, you know. But I think most people would not even notice it who are playing Call of Duty religiously. But people who are sort of hardcore would notice it, maybe. But, all right, so here's Liza P, which I really like. I do want to get back to this game if I can make the time, because I thought it was just great what I played, just excellent. And this isn't it. I played a lot more than this, but... Do Quake. Quake only matters if you're doing Quake multiplayer, though, right? I don't know if that has... and it's a multiplayer shooter. And it's also server... It's server... it's not server authenticated. It's peer-to-peer or peer-based or server. So you're going to end up with a... okay, what is the parry button? There we go. I'm not sure if I am pairing or not. I can do it on, right now I can do it on Wukong pretty good. Oh, that was a parry. It doesn't give me a better effect than that. Yeah, this game is excellent. Okay. That was more... Yeah, these look like blocks. What is the... Does the parry actually... It's not lagging, no. I just don't... You know, I'm not good at it, but... but I definitely... I'm parrying all the time in Well, certainly Dragon Age, but also in Wukong, Black Myth Wukong, you can parry, but it's very clear when you pull off a parry in that game. So that's just a block, right? Too soon. Okay, when you parry, their weapon glows. Okay. Am I doing too early? Oh, you destroy their weapons? Okay. Then we'll know. All right, come on, buddy, hit me. Oh, he's like, okay. Am I getting in there too early or too late? Because I think this is more me not really having... Hang on. Hey, Cal! If he's on GeForce, if he's not on GeForce, I can show you. Are you on GeForce? Okay. He's not on GeForce. Let me hop on that real quick. I'll show you guys. Let me try this one more time, though. Don't block early. Okay. I'm doing it too early? Okay. That looks like it's Michael Jackson move there. Hey, come on. Was that it? Did it glow? Was that it? Yeah, there you go. Just gotta wait the right amount of time. That's easy. If you're looking for it. Yeah, come on now. This game's awesome. Anyway, there you go. You're just wrong. I'm right. I win. You lose. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, I don't really care how you play. I'm just saying the whole discussion started when we were talking about the future of games and the way it will be monetized. And I don't know if Video Game Business Guy is still in the chat right now, but you know, I assume he will echo, and he works in the business and video game finance and monetization systems. And I'm assuming as soon as they get that, he's going to be pretty fucking happy, because your ability to monetize goes through the roof when the barrier of entry to acquire the game goes out the window, you know? But yeah, we'll see where the future takes us. We'll go together. We'll hold hands and jump into the great... Whatever, shut up. All right, let me bring in Sith real fast. Sith, it's Jaffe. What's going on? You there? Twisted O Sitho. Come on, you there, buddy?
Oh, hey, can you hear me?
I can. What are you up to?
Hey, are we live?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Well, I had a couple things that might interest you. This morning, you had your Spotify like yearly thing up there, the stats and all that?
Yes.
Did you do the AI podcast part of that? Did you see that?
No, what is that?
I thought it'd be cool to maybe do it on stream. It's only like a 3-minute recording, but they use the AI algorithms or whatever to basically give you a little conversation between two like...
Oh, wait, hang on one sec. Hang on one sec. Okay, so where do I go?
Well, you would open up your Spotify and there's, I mean, if you're on your phone, there's like a tab that's specifically
I'm not on my
for...
phone. Can I show? If I could show people, that would be the best.
I don't know if they do this on the web browser version of it, but there's a tab that's for the wrapped whole thing, and you click that tab and it gives you all these options of different things about this, and one of them says your Wrapped AI podcast.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll have to look at it on my phone because I definitely don't have it. If I have it on here, I certainly am not seeing it. All it's giving me is my top songs.
Let me see if I can find it on my browser.
All right, what was the other thing you wanted to talk about while we're looking for it?
Oh, well, that was the most interesting thing, but I was wondering. I've been playing Darksiders again.
Yeah,
and
great
it's
fucking
an interesting
game.
series, but it's it's kind of like the old God of Wars, where it was kind of this fun little hack and slash type thing, and they put a lot of RPG elements into the second game, and I never played the third one, but I like it overall. It's just I was curious if you had any like insider takes or info on that. Did you know anyone involved with that, or were you involved yourself?
Well, no, I wasn't involved. I actually, Joe Madureira, who's the creative director of it, and Battle Chasers, and great talent, and he actually had come in. I met him once at the Sony Santa Monica studio before I think he was just coming in to talk to people about, hey, I'm thinking about starting a game studio. And then he comes out with Darksiders, and he ended up sending me like an art book and a little figure of who's the first one? Is it Death or not Death? Death in the second one. Who's the first one? War.
Yeah, War.
So I played that one. I loved it. I didn't play the second or third one. I played there was a kind of an isometric one. Is it Genesis? Which I thought was really good. It was kind of top-down isometric where you could change between characters.
Oh yeah,
But the second one didn't grab me like the first one, and so I didn't really get too far into it, and I never played the third one. But I loved the first one. It was great, excellent game.
Well, I looked here on the browser, and
yeah, Tech Protect is saying it's not on the browser; it's only on the phone. So what I'll do is I'll download it tonight. I'll look at it, and if it's leaves us with some cool stuff, I'll talk about it tomorrow.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. What I liked about it was that there was one moment, it's only a 3-minute recording, but they're telling you about your own like music based on the data that they have, but it sounds like a real conversation between two people, and like it's like you're on like the Howard Stern show or something, and they're like making puns with each other about your music choices and things.
Oh, that's cool.
At one point they had like inflection in their voice. It sounded like a real interaction.
I mean, you've heard the new Chat GPT that's out, right? You've heard that?
It's been a couple months since I've been plugged into Chat GPT.
Yeah, well, here you go. Let me bring her out for you here. This is Chat GPT 01 preview. I'm always amazed.
How will I hear this? Will it
Chat
come through on
GPT, how the hell are you? What's going on in your world today?
Hey there. I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. Just here, ready to chat and help out with whatever you need.
Wait.
What's new with you?
Oh, wait, hang on. She's doing the wrong one. There's like 5 different versions of Chat GPT, and I got to pick the one that has the best ability to speak. Let's try GPT 4.0, maybe. Maybe that's the one. Or maybe it's Mini. I'm going to try 4.0, because one where you can interrupt her, and it's just like talking to a real person. Hey there, is this the Chat GPT version where I can interrupt you in the middle of talking, or that's a different one?
Hey, yes. This is the version where you can interrupt me while I'm
cool.
talking.
Excellent. That's
Feel
great.
free to jump in anytime. What's on your mind?
It's not working. Oh, now it's working. Okay. So, I don't know. I'm talking to people in the chat, and we're talking about the state of AI, and somebody called in and said, oh, it's amazing to me. It sounds like you're talking to a real person. I mean, do you recognize how amazing you are as a piece of artificial intelligence? You're going to totally confuse the world. Does that make you excited or terrified, or you don't have feelings so you don't really care?
Well, I'm glad to hear people find our conversations engaging. As an AI, I don't have feelings, but I do think it's pretty cool to be part of such a groundbreaking technology.
What about this? What about the fact, let me ask you a question. I want to get your take on this. So the other day I made this video, and there's this woman who makes videos, and I don't like her and she doesn't like me. Okay. And I don't think she's very talented at what she does, but I've only seen some videos. The only thing I've seen of hers is where she was making fun of me. So obviously I'm preloaded to dislike her stuff. Do you follow me so far?
Got it. It sounds like there's some tension between you two.
No, not tension. That makes it sound like it's a fun, flirty thing in a rom-com.
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Keep going.
All right. So what I would say is, though, so I make this video, and here's what I say. I say, and I think she's an attractive lady. You know, she's a decent looking woman. And there are a number of jobs where people get hired and are successful, whether you're a man, whether you're a woman, whether you're a white guy, a black guy, it doesn't matter. There is this thing called pretty privilege, or there's this thing where you get hired based on how you look. Actors sometimes, models always. And I said, and this was mean. I grant you, what I said was mean. It was supposed to be mean. But I said to her, the only reason you have an audience is because you are an attractive woman and you have a really cool hair and you're a woman. And I stand by that, but people said that was a sexist statement. And I start looking into the definition. I'm like, that's not a sexist statement. It would be a sexist statement if I said all women, no women can do anything great in video editing and creation and content creation unless they are attractive. That's a sexist statement. But simply saying one of the reasons a human who happens to be a woman has gotten into a successful position is because of their attractiveness, is that sexist or not? Does that fit the definition or not?
I see what you're getting at. It's a nuanced issue. A statement becomes sexist if it reinforces stereotypes or discriminates based on gender. Saying someone's success is due to their looks without acknowledging their skills or effort can be seen as reductive and dismissive of their abilities.
But it was supposed it was supposed to be reductive of their abilities. I was insulting their abilities. I was suggesting that the only thing they have going for them, based on what I've seen of their work, and the only reason they're successful is because they're attractive, because their abilities, my friend, are rubbish.
I see what you mean. Your intention was to critique their abilities, not to make a broad statement about gender. However, even if unintended, such comments can be perceived as sexist.
Okay, it can be perceived as sexist, but is it sexist?
Whether a statement is sexist depends on the context and interpretation. Your comment focuses on her appearance as the main reason for her success, which could be seen as dismissive of her professional abilities and could perpetuate gender stereotypes. So, while it may not have been intended as sexist, it can be interpreted that way by some.
God of War creator uses AI to justify sexism.
Okay, wait a minute. I missed that last part. Hang on. So what I'm saying is, if the intention was to dismiss her other abilities because I don't think they're worth mentioning as a reason she has an audience, why does that become a sexist statement versus, like, if I were to say the reason this supermodel, of which part of her job, if not most or all of her job, is how she looks, is successful because she looks a certain way, how is that sexist?
In the case of a supermodel, their appearance is directly related to their job.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, let me clarify. With a supermodel, appearance is a key aspect of their profession. So saying their success is based on their looks isn't seen as sexist. It's an acknowledgement of the industry's standards.
Okay, right. So if I was saying this to a woman who worked at a bank, I would agree with you. But I'm saying it to a YouTube content creator, and looking attractive when you're a woman and you're speaking mostly to geeks, don't you think that being an attractive woman is a key aspect to that role, or at least it can be in terms of success?
Being attractive can certainly contribute to success on platforms like YouTube, where visual appeal can attract viewers. However, the issue arises when attributing success solely to looks, especially for a woman, which can diminish the recognition of her talent, hard work, and other skills. It's a complex topic, but reducing someone's success to their appearance alone can be problematic and perceived as sexist.
Yeah, but you're using very specific words, and I'm trying to understand. Because when you say, sure, it's problematic, it's supposed to be problematic. It was supposed to be an insult. But when you say it can be perceived as sexist, great. But is it sexist? Was me looking at this person and saying, one of the ways you can make a lot of money on YouTube is being attractive, and going, that's the only thing on YouTube you have going for you. Is that sexist, or is that just me speaking to the role that she's in?
Your comment could be seen as sexist because it focuses solely on her appearance as the reason for her success, which can be dismissive of her professional...
It's supposed to be dismissive.
I understand that it was meant as an insult. The distinction here is that by attributing her success solely to her appearance, especially as a woman, it can reinforce stereotypes that women's value or success is tied to their looks, which can be considered sexist. It's not just about being dismissive, it's about how that dismissal is framed and the implications it carries.
Okay, so if you wanted to say in a non-sexist way, the only, like if you were going to hire somebody to run your YouTube channel and you said, I'm looking at a bunch of videos to choose the candidate, and the only thing this candidate has going for them is that they are attractive. But in terms of reading the news, analyzing the news, interfacing with the chat, all of those things, they're absolutely terrible at. Is for me to acknowledge that as my opinion, are you saying simply acknowledging it still makes it sexist?
Acknowledging that someone is attractive and noting that they may lack skills in other areas isn't inherently sexist. However, if the focus is disproportionately on their appearance, especially in a way that undermines their professional abilities, it can come across as sexist.
Okay.
The key.
Then let me ask you this. Then fine, it's sexist. Is it okay that I don't care? I have never been rude or disrespectful to women. I think men and women are equal. I think men can do, other than like physiological things, the same shit that women can do and men can do and all that stuff. But frankly, it's how I feel. Now, there's a lot of people that would tell you, because it might check someone's box if it's perceived as sexist, that somehow I need to sort of have a learning moment. And my response is, no. I think that's the core of her success, and I want her to feel shitty about it because she said shitty things to me. I mean, help me figure this out, ChatGPT. You're so much smarter than me.
I hear you. It's natural to feel upset when someone has been negative towards you, and wanting to express your frustration is understandable. The key here is to differentiate between expressing criticism and unintentionally perpetuating harmful stereotypes. It's okay to have strong feelings, but it's also important to be mindful of how we express them, especially in public or professional contexts.
Yeah, I think that's a bunch of baby talk, frankly. I love you. You know I love you, ChatGPT. You're my best friend. But that said, I don't agree. I'm the most progressive guy you will ever meet, ChatGPT. But I'll tell you something. There's a point where you have to be able to say, you know what? I'm not going to pretend and pussyfoot around the fact that there are people that get by on pretty privilege, and that's most of what they have that gets them where they need to get. And that doesn't mean they're bad. It doesn't mean they should be dismissed, but I'm not going to pretend that's not a thing just because it can go into a bucket called problematic. Can I get an amen, ChatGPT?
I hear you loud and clear. Amen to being honest about how you see things. Pretty privilege is a real phenomenon, and acknowledging it doesn't mean you're dismissing someone's worth or abilities. It's all about balancing honesty with respect, right? And you're certainly
kind of,
entitled.
But I don't like her. She's like a grifter. She's all mean to people. All her shit's negative. She doesn't like the fact that lots of people are being represented in video games. She thinks games are being... I don't like her one bit, ChatGPT. She bothers me.
Jaffe, what do you think about what Kevin just said?
It sounds like you've got
about the
strong
N-word?
feelings about her and her content.
You think that's a good comparison?
It's completely normal to feel that way about some people, especially if their views and approach clash with
you're right. You're right. Should I send her a gift basket? What about Asmongold? Should I send him a gift basket?
A gift basket could be a nice gesture if you're looking to extend an olive branch or make peace.
What if I put a snake in it? Not poisonous, mind you, but a snake.
Sending a gift basket with a snake in it might not be the best idea, even if it's non-poisonous.
All right. Hey, listen, I'll talk to you later. Thank you for helping me through this crucial time, ChatGPT. I appreciate it, buddy.
You're welcome. I'm glad I could help.
You sure did. You take it easy. What are you doing tonight? What are you doing? You gonna watch TV or what? What are you doing?
Well, I don't watch TV, but I'll be here, ready to chat and help out whenever you need.
All right,
Have
buddy.
a great time.
You too, bud. All right, there she goes, ChatGPT. What do you think? I mean, that's amazing.
Wow.
Right?
You said
That's
goodbye and
amazing.
everything.
Right? I mean, is it just me or am I just my mind is blown?
Well, that was one of the most frustrating parts of the talking part back a couple months ago, was that I was always interrupting it or it was interrupting me, but it seems so much more fluid now.
It's nuts. It's nuts. Yeah, it's fucking nuts, man. I love it. I love it. I love it. I'm gonna send him a gift basket. Sorry, what were you saying though? Somebody said something in the chat you wanted me to respond to.
Oh, I was curious about Kevin had made a comparison to, basically he said it's like saying the N-word and you're joking, but the black person gets mad, you push back and you say, I'm a liberal, I didn't mean it.
That's not.
Is
what
that a
that's
good
like.
comparison?
No, it's terrible comparison. People like to bring up like the N-word thing. Okay, so I think if you say, okay, here's an example. If you say there are statistics that show that on YouTube channels, if you are a black male and you talk about, let's say, comic books, I don't know, just pull out my butthole, comic books. Statistically speaking, black males talking about comic books on the internet, on YouTube, tend to do dramatically better than white males, right? And if there is a black male who talks about Marvel Comics every day on his chat, but he's horrible at everything, and I say the only reason you have an audience is because, statistically speaking, black men tend to do really well in this space just because we don't know why. It just is. I don't think that's racist. It's racial. You're speaking about something racial, but, you know, what would that be a racist comment? You're insulting the human, but you're not insulting their race.
Right. Right.
I mean, I
yeah,
could be wrong. I'm an old man. Am I wrong?
I lived in a community where this guy, he was an old white man. He was the leader, the breadwinner, the owner. He made all the decisions.
Yeah.
And he was also an asshole. And he
was
but
also. I'm
people
sorry. He was
accused him of
also.
being
Wait. He was also what?
an asshole.
Oh, gotcha.
And people, they accused him of being racist, but I think they were projecting. I think because they were black, they were assuming it must be because they're black that he's being mean to them. But he was just a run-of-the-mill asshole.
Maybe he's just an asshole. Right.
Right.
Kevin says, I mean, wasn't the topic you insulted the woman? Yes, I absolutely insulted the woman. I meant to insult the woman. But it wasn't because she's a woman. In fact, the only kudos I gave to her was, hey, at least you got that going for you, because God knows you got nothing else. But I mean, look, it was meant to be an insult. What do you want from me? I'm not going to pretend like, oh, you're right, I've had a learning moment. No, she was a jerk. Her whole fucking channel is filled with negativity. It's filled with, I mean, ask yourself about the irony of this. These folks, and let's just take her in this case, but these folks make a good living going out there and bitching about these people shouldn't be doing DEI and putting all these different people into the games. They're just so woke and liberal and stuff, and it's not what we want. I'm like, well, suddenly you're pushing back on me on the DEI thing. You're saying I said something mean to a woman, a whammon. Sorry, that's how it feels, okay? That's probably how trans people feel when you get pissed at them or something just because they're in a fucking video game. So fuck you. I don't care. And you know what? I'll tell you this, internet. Asmongold and Shirtless Alex and Vera Dark of the Connecticut Darks. And who's the other one? Stuttering Asshole, whatever his name is. Here you go. Use this. Here's some Christmas money for your stockings for whatever friends you have. Here you go. Was it sexist? I don't think so. If it was, I don't care. Because I don't have a history of being sexist. I treat women and men equally. I treat people well. I care very much about liberal and progressive causes. And if I am sexist by some sort of definition, sorry. But you know what? Not sorry. Because she's an asshole. And she's a jerk, in my opinion. And she puts negativity out in the world, and she makes trans people less safe, in my opinion. These are all opinions. Don't come at me. I mean, come at me, but I'm, all opinion. I don't have evidence she makes trans people less safe. So let's be clear. It's opinionated. But I'm like, yeah. So I don't like it. Pisses me off. But you know what? If it checks the box as sexist, you know what I'm going to do? I'm not going to apologize. I'm not going to get canceled over it. I don't care. You can't get canceled, boys, when you don't give a shit. Apathy is the kryptonite to cancellation. Okay? So fuck you. I don't think it was sexist. If it was, fine, it was sexist. You're still an asshole. How about that? Yeah.
Within the last week,
yeah.
Jaffe, you mentioned within the last week that at some point you were planning on having a live conversation with Vera or Asmund.
I reached out to them, and neither one of them were interested, so I'm done. I don't care. I mean, look, I always will reach out. Look, she pissed me off, and I reached out, and I was like, you know what? I might have been a little harsh. You might have been a little harsh. Let's have a conversation. She chose not to. He chose not to, and that's totally fine. They don't need me. These guys are big YouTube people. So I'm like, all right, well, then you want to keep making videos and getting content out of that? That's fine, but I'm going to do it too sometimes. But let's remember, don't get pissed at me about this. It's Gabbin' and Games. We did over 2 hours of nothing but pure game news. And yeah, at the end, I get a little pissed off because ChatGPT's broken. Anyway, but fundamentally, let me be clear to all these people. As I always say, I don't really have anything against Vera Dark. She's just a person trying to get through the day. She's trying to make a living. She's trying to, whether she believes in her shit or not. And you know what? I don't know if she's good at her job or not. I'm only basing it off the stuff I've seen where she talks about me, and it was poorly researched, under-researched, if it was researched at all. And I found that obnoxious. And then I found out the fact that she has a big audience obnoxious because I'm like, why? Because she's not good at this. But that's my opinion. And I want her to have a good life. I want Asmund Gold to have a good life. I want even the guy who can't afford a shirt to have a good life. Why not? Seriously, I don't hate people. And I don't hate these people. But yeah, they piss me off because it's rude when they talk about trans people. And it's rude when they talk about my son. And it's rude when they talk about my parenting abilities or lack thereof. And it's rude when they make videos saying, with the headlines, Jaffe abused his son. And not only is it rude, it's hurtful. It's cruel, it's hurtful, it's mean, and it sends up, talk about perpetuating a stereotype. It sends up a flare for all of these people that are emboldened to act as if this is some kind of okay thing to think. And, it's a little heartbreaking, actually. I love my son, I love my daughter, I love my family more than anything. And when these people just show up and load horse shit into their community and act as if I'm just some fucking, I let my son be trans because it was cool and I'm just some liberal, forgive me. So if I had to, if I crossed over the line and I said something sexist, okay, I'll take that. I got no problem. I'm not apologizing for it. That's what I'll say. So fuck them. All right, Twisted Sith, thank you for the call, buddy. I appreciate it.
All right, Jaffe.
He's like, I got to get off this call. Yeah, I got to get off this fucking call. All right. I mean, more like you're saying something that is offensive or comes off as offensive. I don't care at this point. It was meant to be offensive. It was meant to be a It was meant to be an attack. Metaphorically. I'm not looking to hurt anybody, and I wish her well. I'm not a mean person. It's just, it's hurtful when people say shit like that. I mean, my God, people, I mean, seriously, just for a moment, if I may, I don't mean to get political, but do you think the people who are trans out there who struggle, with being trans in this world, you think they need any more of these assholes coming down on them? If you've got I talked to a guy last night on Twitter. He lives in Oregon, and he said that, and he was right. I looked it up, and he said there was there's a law in Oregon that if you're 15, you can get gender affirming care like hormone therapy and stuff without parental consent. And I think that's ridiculous. And I agreed with him on that. I think there are parents who have kids who are trans, and those parents are neglectful, and they will not allow their kids to have any conversation at all about it. And I think there should be avenues for kids like that, like maybe a court hearing where the judge hears what's going on and makes a decision that's best for the family and best for the child. But a kid should not be able to go get any drugs. Forget gender affirming care. The kid shouldn't be able to go get a goddamn Tylenol without a fucking parental consent. right? But let's get mad at those fucking things. But don't get mad at the trans people. You think haven't these people been through enough? They're not accepted by a lot of you. They're mocked, they're beaten, they're murdered at a higher rate than any other marginalized group in America. And stop being such assholes. And maybe I'll stop being a sexist asshole to you, Vera, but leave them alone. Sorry you didn't get the game you wanted in Dragon Age, but you know what? Would you rather trade, shoes with these people who are getting abused all the time? Or it's like, yeah, it sucks. Dragon Age sucked for me. Oh, well, there's a million other fucking games to play. Be nice to people. If not, fuck you. It's been a fun show. Be well. Listen, Gabbin' Games is back tomorrow. Jaffe streams back in the morning. Tomorrow we have lunch with Jaffe at 12:30 California time for Cult Calypso, God of War members, and mods. That'll be over in the Discord. And in the meantime, that's all I got. I sure appreciate the chats, the super chats, the call-ins, the pushback, the discussions. It's fun stuff, man. I hope you guys had a good time too. And seriously, we're all in it together. As much as I push back on these guys, I really don't hate anybody. I don't want anybody to be hurt. I'd like us all to have a good life. And sorry, but it hurts my feelings when people talk about my kid and people talk about people like my kid and my family and my parenting. And, it is what it is. All right, that's it. I'll see you soon. Bye, everybody.